broadcasting stations. It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some
Good morning, everybody. Happy 901 day to you and yours. Welcome into Sports 56 Middays. It is the Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 edition of Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program is brought to you always by Action 24/7. On the program today, we're going to talk about yesterday's Zoom pressers with Rasheed Wallace and Penny Hardaway. Update you on everything that's happening with the University of Memphis basketball program, as things are certainly exciting around the Tigers and the Tigers football team. The countdown continues to opening day, opening game, and that's Saturday at 6 o'clock against Nichols. We'll talk plenty of college football with Jerry Palm, who joins us each and every Wednesday at 11:05. Today, no exception. Sigmund Bloom normally will join us at 12:05 every Wednesday to answer all your fantasy football questions. Unfortunately, just was told a minute ago that Sigmund, who lives in New Orleans, certainly affected by the Hurricane Ida that just rolled through. We want to send our thoughts and prayers out to him. I'm not sure how bad it was, but bad enough that he won't be with us today. So that'd be unfortunate. Hopefully, Sig will be back with us next week to answer all your fantasy football questions. So at 12:05, we'll do our 5 favorite things. If you missed the topic from yesterday, it's your 5 favorite all-time college football players. Your 5 favorite college football players of all time. 5 favorite things at 12:05. And then it's our final 3-man scramble at 12:25. We'll make our picks for the Tour Championship, which is this week in Eastlake, or at Eastlake in Atlanta. And then next week we will draw for the winner, so we'll technically have a 3-man, at least a few minutes of it next week when Jay will join us for that. But Jay will join us today. We'll make our picks. Your last chance to get in for the grand prize drawing, try to win the weekly prize and get into the grand prize drawing. So we'll make our picks for the Tour Championship down to 30 players, by the way, and that'll come your way at 12:25. Ben Simmons wants out of Philadelphia. We will discuss that. So a lot of things happening on this edition of Middays. And again, as always, I really don't have to remind you, but I will anyway. The AutoZone text line is always available to you 24/7 at 360-8255. We love reading your comments, your questions, your concerns. And also, if you want to call in during open segments when we don't have a guest, it's that same number, the AutoZone phone lines, 360-8255. Good morning, Eli.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Real good.
I don't know why I expected sunshine to wake up today. I thought it was rain Monday, rain Tuesday. It didn't rain that much yesterday, and then I thought it was gone. But woke up today, cloudy, drove to work, had some rain. Hopefully that will dissipate pretty quickly and maybe get some sun later this afternoon.
Sun was just out a little bit ago. It's
good.
Okay. The skies are clearing.
Yeah, I got hit with a little when I was sitting in the car, ready to walk into the station. All of a sudden it opened up. Just hung around for about 10 minutes in the car, and then it went away. Hope everybody's Wednesday morning's off to a good start. Again, it's 901 day, so happy 901 day. What do you do on 901 day, Eli, to celebrate?
I don't really do anything necessary to celebrate.
Come on.
I'll drink some local beer, but I do that a lot of days. That's not
801 day, 701 day,
yeah. 901. That'll be 902, 903, 904, 905, 906. Pretty much every day.
I've asked Gabe if he can to spin some hits for us coming into segments with some 901 music, and maybe you have suggestions. You could always text in again on the AutoZone text line. Let us know. But great music, obviously, throughout the years has come out of the city of Memphis. So I want to get into this Ben Simmons thing in just a second. But yesterday, I listened in to Rasheed Wallace and Penny Hardaway and what they had to say about the Tigers. Of course, Rasheed the newest member of the coaching staff, making, I believe, what is his first appearance as far as a media obligation, and he was absolutely terrific. I'm just sitting there. First of all, had trouble jumping on Zoom. It said it wouldn't take the address, and then I figured, oh, I don't think I've downloaded the right Zoom. So I downloaded it, got on. Then it was, how do I ask a question on this thing? And so by the time I'm trying to figure out how to ask a question, everybody's, okay, let's, Michael Schroeder's running this thing and is like calling on Clayton Collier and then Steven Johnson. How do I ask a question? And I finally figured it out. There's the upper corner, you punch something up in there. It says to ask a question, raise your hand, whatever it is. So I didn't get a chance to ask a question, but I listened to what Rasheed Wallace had to say. And it was really cool, first of all, to see Rasheed in his Tigers cap. But with Rasheed Wallace, you expect him to be animated and fiery, and, we may have to give him a technical foul during the Zoom, but no, that's not it. He was great, and he was so excited about being a part of this program and this coaching staff. He said it was almost God-sent for real to join forces with Penny and Larry and Top and that whole team with all those great prospects. So, nothing but positive vibes yesterday listening to Rasheed Wallace. And somebody asked him about whether he was the guy who came up with Ball Don't Lie. And he said, no, that's a Philly term. That's a Philadelphia term. So I just used it. I borrowed it, but I didn't create it. But he was really cool, and it was nice to listen to him with all the positive vibes about Memphis.
Yeah, it's a little weird to see because Rasheed was not one of the guys during his playing days that I would have thought like coaching material.
For what reason? His temper?
Yeah, I mean, his temper, the way. I mean, yeah, he just didn't seem like a guy that would get into coaching.
No, look, I see where you're coming from. I watch the Big Three on occasion, and I actually enjoy it. And one of the coaches is Charles Oakley. That's another guy I would think, Charles Oakley. I can't imagine that guy as a coach, but he's coaching up a team. I can see what you're saying about Rasheed Wallace. But Rasheed talked about his coaching background, and he's coached AAU, he's coached high school, he's coached in the NBA, he's been part of an organization. Now it's the college ranks. So he is just, head over heels working with Penny and this team. He wasn't on there for a real long time, so he wasn't asked about the team. And again, he's getting acclimated to these players, so it probably wouldn't be proper to ask him at this time. But then Penny came on, and obviously the focus went to getting Amani Bates and the whole amazing summer that has been the Tigers and has put the Tigers in the limelight almost daily. And he talked about the relationship he had with Jalen Duren, that relationship that he built with Jalen Duren, which was a big reason why he came. And then with name, image, and likeness, he talked about how that was important, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he said basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that they would have gotten him even without name, image, and likeness, which I don't know, because we don't know yet. We don't have the numbers yet, but we know there's going to be a significant amount of money that both Jalen Duren and Amani Bates are going to bring in because of name, image, and likeness. But Penny was extremely excited. Obviously, he's continuing to talk about the smoke. As he was asked by one of the media members about what he said, I think going into, was it last year or the year prior? Bring all the smoke. And he said, no, I keep doing that. I want that. But we have to come through. He said, we're very proud of the NIT championship, but we know we have bigger goals ahead, and we have our sights set on bigger accomplishments. And then he talked specifically about Amani Bates. And he said, look, it's exactly what I said on this show a while back. And I think there was one person that said, there's no way he's playing point. And Penny said exactly what we were talking about. Amani Bates is there to learn to be a point guard going forward to the NBA and to learn from a guy who has the same physical attributes as he does, being as tall as Penny was to be able to be the ball handler and distributor that he was pretty unique at the time. A little more commonplace now. So Bates is going to be his point guard. It doesn't mean that he won't get moved around a little bit and that other guys will play that position, but that's what Penny said. That is his guy to run the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's listen, they're good. They've got a lot of versatility with all of their guys. It's positionless basketball in a lot of ways now that teams are playing, and that's kind of what they want to play anyway. But it's they've got a lot of guys who can make plays for themselves or others and can handle the basketball. I mean, it's not like you're facing a whole bunch of full court pressure because they're going to want to get the ball out and run anyway with whoever kind of gets the rebound. And they've, with all the different guys they're going to have on the floor, they'll most of the times have probably three guys out there who can push the ball up floor themselves without a problem.
No question about it. There's so much depth and so much versatility. He was asked about Earl Timberlake, who you like to call LeBron Timberlake. And it was interesting because Penny said he's anxious to get out on the floor. And this is the problem with Zoom. You know, the follow-up questions or other people jumping into the conversation. You can't really do that. It's structured and it's limited. I hate Zoom. Absolutely hate Zoom. And I don't go on these interviews most of the time. So this is a rarity for me. And so I wanted to get clarification from him because I think some people have come out of it thinking that Earl is not practicing at all. But we had Cody Toppert on earlier this week. And Cody said he's 100%. We asked him about his health. He's 100%. He's practicing. And obviously they're not having these full-bore practices with coaches and all that. They're limited because camp isn't officially opened yet. But he said he was playing and he's healthy. So I guess Penny was actually alluding to getting out on the floor for a game, getting out there and playing in a game or maybe camp. But as far as we know and what Top told us on Monday was that Timberlake is a go. So anyway, that was really cool to listen to Rashid and to listen to Penny Hardaway talk about his team. We're still efforting to get Larry Brown on one day. I think that'll be pretty darn good as well. Larry Brown, of course, at one time coached the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Philadelphia 76ers are in a bit of a limbo, if you will, right now because things seem to calm down over the summer with Ben Simmons talk. There was the trade talk early, and then it kind of simmered down. Well, now Ben Simmons, according to reports, has told the 76ers brass, head coach Doc Rivers, and the front office that he no longer wants to be a 76er and does not intend to report to training camp. And very quickly, finger-pointing at Joel Embiid, that their relationship had deteriorated. Joel Embiid quickly took to social media saying, I love Ben Simmons, and that is certainly not the case. That's not true. We have a great working relationship, and he's an integral part of the team, and we will run this thing back. We think we can do exceptionally well. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of what he was saying. Not exactly what he was saying, kind of what he was saying. But Ben Simmons, according to these reports, wants out. So stalemate time because the 76ers are going to want a king's ransom, sort of like Houston, the Texans, and what they want for Deshaun Watson. Except the difference is Ben Simmons doesn't have these legal things hovering above him.
Yeah, this will be it's I was looking at odds. BetMGM has odds out for where he'll play next year. The Warriors are the favorite at plus 300, followed by the Timberwolves at plus 400, and the Kings at plus 600. It's the usual, I guess, kind of suspects. Now, the Warriors are one of the usual suspects here, and they are one that is very equipped to be able to make a trade if they were to do so. They've got young talent. They've got some big salaries of guys that, namely Andrew Wiggins, who would be expendable to make the salary work. And so the Warriors certainly are prepared. But the Lakers, couldn't do a trade for Ben Simmons. It would be virtually impossible. They would have to either trade LeBron, Anthony Davis, or Russell Westbrook. That's literally the only way they could make a trade salary-wise for Ben Simmons. The Clippers aren't really equipped to do it either, because they talked about the California teams. The Warriors certainly are, but it appears like this is one of those where an all-star, if he truly wants out that bad, you could see like the Timberwolves, like a thing where normally he would be like, say, I'm not going to go there. Like, kind of, because he's as much as people are dogging on him right now, he's a perennial all-star. Like, he has been a perennial all-star in the league for the most part. So those guys usually have some control over where they go. In this situation, I don't think he will have any control. He will have to, if he really wants out of Philly, he will have to be willing to go play anywhere.
Not that Ben Simmons puts the fear of God in me, but he's still a darn good player despite his shortcomings shooting the ball, and he's worked hard on that, I'm told, and I've seen video during the offseason. But that's the last thing I want to see is another one of those perennial all-stars in the West. Because Ja Morant is a guy who we all know, with the progress he made last year, and was on the precipice of an all-star appearance, but ran into the numbers game. And it happened for years with Mike Conley. But Ja is even at another level. And I don't want to see another guy that is almost an automatic all-star every year in the West, which could hamper Ja Morant. There's only a certain amount of spots available. He's not going to win the fan voting. And then to be selected, you bring in too many of these guys, these names that's been annual for the Western Conference, where you look and go, how do you make an all-star team? And then you look over at the East and, toward the end of their all-star roster, you go, all right, that guy was in the East instead of the West. He would have made the team over the other guy, but unfortunately he's in the West. So I hope Ben Simmons is not traded to the West. But Philadelphia has to do something because right now it is not good for this whole organization to have this, if true. But I would imagine, just like it was in the beginning of the summer, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Well, if you look at these odds, six of the top seven, as far as favorites odds-wise, are in the West.
Grizzlies aren't one of them, are they?
No, God, the Grizzlies are at plus 6,600.
Remember there was
if you think the Grizzlies are going to get him, then you could put down some money. You can make good money because they are plus 6,600.
Well, remember the story like months ago when there was that story, and we had to talk about it for a few minutes about how I forget who wrote the story, said Ben Simmons and Ja Morant together, or maybe it was just one of our listeners that texted it in. But I said, oh, come on. I mean, Ben Simmons has to have the ball in his hands. Ja Morant has to have the ball in his hands. That does not make sense at all.
I would like to have Ben Simmons here.
No, I remember you said that.
I don't think the Grizzlies will be able to do it, but I would be perfectly fine getting Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
here.
you like him, but you have Ben Simmons, who's still his outside shot is suspect. You have Ja Morant, whose outside shot got a little bit better, but is still a work in progress. That would be two guys who are more distributors than they are shooters. Nah, I wouldn't want that. It'd be cool for star power and for attention around the country.
Ben Simmons, just because Ben Simmons can get to the basket, do a lot of things. Like Ben Simmons can score.
I know
he just doesn't shoot threes.
But then you take Ja out of the play a little bit.
No, you don't. You put Ben Simmons at the three, I would absolutely love it.
I would not.
But it's not going to happen.
Who would be your best bet right now? Who do you think he'll end up with? Or do you think he'll stay in Philly?
They've already had there was the report that them and the Warriors discussed a deal that the Warriors rejected. I certainly could see if they are to the point now where we absolutely cannot bring him back, like where we have to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. I could see them going back to the Warriors and maybe finding a way to get a deal done. I mean, again, they've got Wiseman that they're certainly willing to trade. They've got the two guys they drafted this year in the first round in the lottery.
Wiggins contract.
They've got Wiggins contract. So I mean, the war and they are certainly in win now mode. I could see Warriors certainly being, and again, they're the favorite in these betting odds. I could certainly see where they would make a lot of sense and have the ability to make the move.
Well, not just because it makes sense because they have the assets, but that's one I can see where Steph Curry, even though he is technically a point guard, that guy's a shooter. And when you have Ben Simmons going to the bucket and kicking it out to Steph Curry, that's scary. And then you have Klay Thompson coming back from his injury. And hopefully Klay Thompson, for their sake, is 100%. So if you have 100% Klay Thompson, Ben Simmons, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, where do you rank the Warriors in the West?
Oh, they're up there. They're up there without Ben Simmons.
Right.
I mean, I think if they're healthy, the Warriors are going to be really good.
But are they number one?
No, they're not ahead of Lakers and Clippers right now.
Okay. But it certainly would be right there in the mix. No question about it. All right, when we return, as promised, it is time for our Memphis Tigers football predictions. We'll make our picks also, the pecking order in the American Conference, if you will. Last week we did the SEC. Next week it'll be all about the National Football League, but we'll do that when we return. First of all, I want to tell you about a great place for lunch or dinner, and that's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Look, there's a lot of really good barbecue restaurants here in the Memphis area. Corky's been around for over 30 years, and they've been voted the #1 barbecue restaurant in Memphis 22 times. They must be doing something right. They got all types of great lunch specials, great deals for you. And dinner, bring it home to the family. They will absolutely love it. What they do is they fire up their barbecue in Corky's Hickory charcoal pits. Hickory and charcoal pits is the way they cook their beef and cook their chicken and cook their pork. Amazing sides and their world-famous onion loaf. They got great burgers and outstanding barbecue nachos, chicken bites, and all kinds of lunches and dinners for the kids as well. Kids menu. Desserts like their chocolate swirl banana pudding cheesecake. Absolutely out of this world. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. 4 convenient locations: Poplar Avenue in East Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. You can dine in, carry out, or have Corky's cater an event. Shop online, have Corky's deliver their delicious barbecue anywhere in the United States, and a Corky's gift card always makes a terrific gift. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tiger football opens at home against Nichols Saturday, September 4th at 6. And the rest of the schedule features SEC opponent Mississippi State, Navy, SMU, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now for all games, including Mississippi State, which starts at $60. Season tickets are also on sale, and you can get all 7 games for just $99. To lock in your seats for all the action, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com.
CenterPoint Energy takes many steps to help ensure the safety of gas lines in your community and shares important tips like the following. A distinct odor similar to rotten eggs is added to natural gas. If you smell it, clear the area and immediately call CenterPoint Energy. Plus, always remember to call 811 before you dig or begin an outdoor project. Natural gas is one of the safest fuels. To find more tips, visit centerpointenergy.com/gas safety.
In here, there are seasonal savings throughout the Home Depot, so you can get back out there for more doing. In here, it's a Weber Spirit Grill. Out there, it's the dinner bell for your next neighborhood cookout. In here, it's a gallon of exclusive Behr Scuff Defense paint and a Lillard White vanity. Out there, it's a rejuvenated guest bath ready for guests. Get back for more doing with store-wide savings for house-wide doing. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
One of the things I love about betting on FanDuel Sportsbook is you get more than one shot. Right now, new and existing users can get up to $25 back in site credit each day. Just place a minimum 5-leg baseball parlay, and if it falls 1 leg short, you get up to $25 back with parlay insurance. There's a reason FanDuel Sportsbook's America's #1 sportsbook. In addition to the parlay insurance, if you haven't tried FanDuel Sportsbook yet, new users can place your first bet risk-free. New users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code CASH to get in on the action. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Like a coin in your mind, I am tempted.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Take me to the pilot for control.
The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy 901 day. Little B.B. King, never heard anybody. Good stuff from one of our many kings here in the Bluff City. We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, live from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Don't forget, we'll have our 5 favorite things today at 12:05. Your 5 favorite all-time college football players, and a quick thank you to all our great sponsors for 5 favorite things.
Yeah, La Guadalupana, the original hot dog factory and spice wing, and Air Doctors of Memphis.
All right, so last week we did our SEC predictions. You and I were a little bit different on, especially the West, and more similar on the Eastern side. What we'll do with the American Conference as a whole, we'll just give you our predictions on where they'll finish. We won't give you the total records and go through all the games and all that. But with the Tigers, we obviously will. So let's begin. This is the look at the Tigers 2021 season, beginning on Saturday with Nichols. Nichols is a really good FCS from a good conference, Southland Conference. They scored a lot of points last year in the games that they played. But even though they could show some competitiveness, especially early, I think the Tigers will win comfortably.
I would like to think that the Tigers will get a win against Nichols.
And hopefully for Ryan Silverfield, again, who will be joining us tomorrow, that he has a comfortable win, therefore he can get a lot of players into the game as he's still looking at different positions, including the quarterback position. We will see, I would imagine, at least 2, if not 3 quarterbacks on Saturday. On the 11th, they head to Arkansas State. Interesting game against the Red Wolves, who are always competitive. Lane Hatcher is back again at quarterback. He's one of the better ones, not only in their conference, but really in the country. They have a new coach in Butch Jones. They have a new AD in Tom Bowen. You better believe Tom Bowen wants to beat the brakes off the Tigers. It won't be a walk in the park. What do you think?
It will certainly not be easy. I do think the Tigers will win the game, but it is a tricky game. It's one that they could lose.
I think the Tigers win, but I think this game could go deep into the fourth quarter with the outcome still in the balance. I don't think it's going to be some kind of blowout win. Arkansas State's always been able to score, but Mike McIntyre's defense is expected to be much better this year. So that'll be an interesting dynamic. But Butch Jones running the offense, will he be able to continue in that same realm of other high-scoring head coaches at Arkansas State throughout the years?
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Trash can by trash can. On the 18th, The Tigers will host Mike Leach. The Pirate comes to town with his Mississippi State Bulldogs. I have that down right now as a loss. A close loss, but a loss. Now, I may adjust here in 2 weeks, wanting to see what Mississippi State looks like, but I would imagine there will be improvement in year number 2. They have their quarterback. He can sling it pretty well. Do they have enough of those weapons for the air raid offense? I'm going to give Mississippi State the win in this one.
Yep. When I did Mississippi State's last week, I had them beating Memphis, so that would mean I have Memphis losing to Mississippi State.
The 4th straight weekend, they will play their 4th straight non-conference game, and it will be Texas-San Antonio, team that I think was on the schedule last year. They ended up not playing them last year. I don't know a ton about them, about this year's squad, Texas-San Antonio, but the Tigers at home, hopefully it's a competitive game, and I think it will be against Mississippi State. They're not beaten down and broken up. If they lose that game and they bounce back strong, beat Texas-San Antonio.
Yeah. I admit I don't know a whole lot about Utsa, but I'll take the Tigers in that one.
Is that what the kids say, Utsa? Is that what they call them today?
That's what I say.
Game number 5.
Texas San Antonio just is a lot. So I like Utsa.
It's a mouthful.
UTSA, I guess I could just say UTSA, but Utsa.
Game number 5, October 2nd, the Tigers will head to Philadelphia. And it will be, knock on wood, good to be back in the area where I grew up. The Temple Owls are the opponent. We know Mr. Russo's no longer there. He transferred. They got screwed, many people believe, in their last game in Philadelphia. I don't think Temple's good. I mean, Temple always worried me every time they played the Tigers because they always put together a formidable defense. A number of their guys have gone on to play in the National Football League, but I don't think this is a good Temple team, and I think the Tigers will win on the road.
Yeah, I think this is a terrible Temple team. I think this is not
okay, sir.
This is not your older brother's Temple. I think Temple is bad, so I've got the Tigers winning comfortably at Temple. They should.
The next week they'll try to win on the road again against another school that starts with the letter T, and we know that crazy things have happened in Tulsa. The Tigers and the Golden Hurricane. Your pick.
Tulsa always scares me. They don't kind of pay a whole lot of attention to them. They just are always able to run the football. A couple years ago, obviously, with the really good Memphis team, they should have lost at Tulsa. I've got Tulsa beating the Tigers.
I don't know if that kicker's still there for Tulsa. I doubt it very much. The Tigers will be riding a 2-game winning streak according to my picks. I think according to your picks. I think they're going to feel good about themselves, and I think they're going to win. But I think this one's going to be another tight game into the fourth quarter. But I'm going to give the Tigers the win on the road at Tulsa. I'm not feeling great about it, but strong enough to give them the pick. Then it's a quick turnaround against Navy. Now, if this was Navy of a few years ago, not last year's team, which was a disaster, and it was in Annapolis, I wouldn't even hesitate to put an L down. And if this was a really, really good Navy team, even at home, which it is in Memphis at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, may still put an L down. But because this Navy team, I don't think they found their quarterback. And there's still question marks. We'll talk to Pete Cordelli as the season goes. Pete Cordelli. We'll talk to Pete Medhurst, the voice of the Naval Academy. Hi to Pete Cordelli if you're listening. But Pete will join us to talk about Navy. He's the voice of Navy. But I think Memphis is just a better team than Navy is at this point. And on October 14th, despite it being a 5-day turnaround, I think the Tigers will win.
Yes, I think the Tigers beat Navy. It's really weird. I was looking at the I got the Athlon college football preview magazine, and they rank the various units in the American Athletic Conference and all the different conferences. And to see Navy last in both offensive line and defensive line It's just not something I think. Like Navy, I'm thinking big physical guys up front, and they've got to rank last in the conference in both offensive line and defensive line.
And Navy, by the way, they have a brutal first 10 games of their schedule. They finished the year with ECU and Temple. I think they can win those games, but they go for the first 10 games. Marshall, Air Force, who they lost 40-7 to last year, at Houston, UCF, SMU, Memphis, Cincy, Tulsa, Notre Dame.
Wow, yikes!
It's going to be tough to find wins on that schedule.
As much as Ken Niumatalolo has meant to that Naval Academy, and as good a coach as we all know he is, I think something will happen at the end of the season where either Navy will go in a different direction or Ken will leave. That's my prediction. I just don't imagine this team being that competitive, but stranger things have happened. All right, 8 days later, the Tigers travel to Orlando. They'll play UCF. Gus Malzahn, the new head coach there. They have Dylan Gabriel. They have a lot of good players on that offensive unit. Don't know a lot about the defense. I put that one down as an L. Tigers lose at UCF, even though they beat them last year.
I have them losing at UCF.
Again, a game that I will certainly adjust as we get closer because my questions are still there about UCF's defense. And they open up on Thursday. They open up tomorrow, right? Is it a Thursday game?
Yes.
Against Boise State?
Yep.
Now, again, this isn't your father's Boise State Broncos, but it's still Boise State. But they have to go a long way to play at UCF, and I think UCF will win that game. But I just want to see how they look in doing so. November 6th. This is an interesting game because you have SMU coming to town. Sonny Dykes has Mordecai at the quarterback position. He's the transfer from Oklahoma. They score points. But Memphis' defense, like I said, it should be improved. Memphis has always played well, it seems like, against SMU. It's at home. Tigers win.
Yeah, I've got the Tigers winning that game as well. I do think SMU, just kind of looking at their stuff, they're pretty good.
They are.
But they've got the trip the week before to Houston, then come here to Memphis, and then they've got UCF and Cincinnati. So it's just a really tough stretch on their schedule. And so I like the spot for the Tigers on the schedule. I'll take the Tigers.
Following week, it's East Carolina at home. East Carolina is not going to be the pushover they were last year. They're improved, especially on defense. They got a quarterback who could sling it. But the Tigers beat the Pirates.
Yes, I think they will beat the Pirates as well. Holton Ahlers is in his third year now as a starter. Started as a freshman. I do like him, but I just think the Tigers are better.
Then 6 days later, the Tigers travel to Houston, and a lot of people believe that there will be vast improvement, and there better be for the Houston Cougars. I think there will be, and Dana Holgerson's team, I think, will finally play the way that we've seen some of his teams before at West Virginia that can score the football. I think Houston will beat the Tigers in a shootout in Houston on the 19th.
I have Houston winning that as well. That one scares me, and I just I think that's going to be a tough one for the Tigers. So I do like Houston.
And then to close out the regular season, 8 days later on the 27th, the Tigers host Tulane. Tulane is really improving under Willie Fritz. He seems to be the right guy for the job. But Tulane already affected early in this season because of Hurricane Ida. I don't know if that will play into how their season goes and how the end of the season is. I think Tulane will be able to put some points on the board, but because it's at home, and I know the Tigers lost down there a couple times, including that big rain game at the new stadium. I haven't seen the new stadium, so all I recall is games going to the Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Dome, if you will. No, it's now the Caesars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, bless it with these corporate sponsors. But I think the Tigers end up winning that game against Tulane to close out the regular season.
Yeah, I think the Tigers are just better than Tulane. I've got them winning that game as well.
So your final regular season record prediction for the Tigers is?
I've got them at 8-4, 5-3.
8-4, 5-3. I have them one game better at 9-3, 6-2. If they can finish 9-3 going into a bowl game, I don't think they'll make the championship game. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you went 8-3 this past year. I mean, that's applause around for that because, again, you're breaking in the new quarterback. I think the basement is 7 wins. I think the ceiling is 10. And if you end up winning 6, even though you're bowl eligible, that would be a disappointment. I don't see it. I have the Tigers more on that upper end, not 10, but 9 at 9-3.
Yeah, I could see them getting to 10 for sure. And I also could see them, maybe getting down as low as 7. I do think under 7 would be disappointing for sure. There are 7 wins on that schedule. There should be 7 wins on that schedule. So I think under 7 would be disappointing. 7 be a little disappointing, but it would be acceptable.
Well, you best win at Arkansas State because that really gets the ball rolling. You should take care of business this Saturday. And then Arkansas State, again, I think it will be a fairly tight game, but that's a game you really need to win. And then Mississippi State, we'll see how improved Mississippi State is. But that's not a conference game, nor is Arkansas State. Then you get into conference play. There are a couple of the games that certainly are one of those, they can go either way games. Tulsa, UCF, SMU, Houston, Tulane, in my opinion. They should win at Temple. They should beat Navy at home. They should beat East Carolina at home. The other 5, I don't sit here and go, yeah, absolute win, absolute loss. We just made our predictions, but I can see those going either way. All right, for the American Conference, are you bought in on Cincinnati?
Yes. I'm not bought in on the people who think they're going to go undefeated, beating Notre Dame and Indiana, all that stuff.
Right, I'm with you.
But within the conference, yeah, I'm a firm believer. I think they're better than everybody in the conference.
I think they'll beat Indiana. I don't think they'll beat Notre Dame, but it's going to be fun watching them. Cincinnati is the best team. They get the best roster right now, and they're my pick to win the American Conference.
And the fact that they get UCF at home. I mean, I think that's the schedule works in their favor. I think they should win the conference.
I have Cincinnati winning the conference. UCF, even though they lose to Cincinnati, finish second, and they will meet in the American Conference championship game. Tied for third, I have the Tigers and the Cougars, but because I have Houston winning that game in Houston, the Cougars, by the tiebreak, the head-to-head, would be third. Tigers would be fourth. Then I have SMU, Tulane, Tulsa, Navy, East Carolina, USF, Temple.
Pretty much the same, although I have Tulsa right behind Memphis. I have Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, Memphis, Tulsa. I could very well see Houston, Memphis, Tulsa all in a tie there, and sorted out by all sorts of head-to-head stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up with a Houston, Memphis, Tulsa, SMU all with the same conference record and had to sort it out because of head-to-head stuff. But I've got Memphis right there sitting fourth again. Yeah, losing the tiebreaker to Houston in that one. But I've got Tulsa higher than you, Roy. The only difference because all those teams at the bottom I have the same.
All right, so very close as far as our picks are concerned. If you want to give us yours, text in on the AutoZone text line at 360-8255. First hour sponsor, of course, is Action 24/7.
That's right. Folks at Action 24/7 are just giving new users free money to get the college football season started. First of all, when you sign up and make your first deposit, you can use the promo code WHBQ100, all capitals on the WHBQ, and they're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $400. Plus, more free money for you new users. You can bet $5 on any NFL game. You're going to win $150 if there's a touchdown. During the SEC games this week, you've got a chance with a $5 bet on any SEC game. You'll win a free bet equal to the starting quarterback's total yards, up to 300. So up to $300 in free bets just for making a $5 bet on any SEC game this week. Again, this is for new users. It is the local sports book here in the state of Tennessee. Again, they're giving folks free money right now to get signed up and betting with that local sports book. They are Action 24/7.
An SEC head coach is getting a sweetened deal for a sweet deal he already has. We'll tell you about that. And the NFL Players Association going after the Jaguars. The Jaguars have responded on social media. That and more when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get your day off to a great start with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, golf, or real estate, having the winning coach makes all the difference in your success. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and I'm with Coach Terry Tippett, winner of 6 state basketball championships. Coach, what's been the secret to your and your team's successes?
Sheldon, there's no one secret. It becomes a pattern of success after coaching for so many years and learning the ins and outs of the game and the players, a lot like the pattern of your success in selling homes.
Thanks, Coach. Like you and your program, I developed my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and I also tried to use it in my golf game.
Sheldon, tried is the optimum word. You better stick to selling homes, as you're always hitting holes in one at that, instead of double bogeys.
Thanks a lot. And if anyone is thinking of selling their home, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 coaches. I mean real estate brokers. Let me be one of them. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com and be a winner.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
The 34th Annual Memphis Chevy Show, presented by T-Mobile, makes its return to the Memphis International Raceway September 10th and 11th. The premier destination for all things Chevrolet features multiple classes of drag racing, an automotive swap meet, jet dragsters, and more. Get your vehicle registered and enter it in a professionally judged car show, or just put it on display. You can also just sit back and enjoy the show. Tickets are now on sale online at just $20 for Friday and $25 for Saturday. Don't miss out on the largest car show in the Mid-South. Go to racemir.com for more information.
Hotty Toddy Ole Miss.
Boom! That's a way to start it.
Right open down the seam, caught, touchdown. Caught at the 20 by Braylon Sanders. He trots into the end zone, touchdown.
We run this ship. That Corral is on a roll.
He's got it to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Lane Kiffin throws his clipboard.
Monday, Ole Miss battles Louisville and Atlanta. Kickoff at 7 with pregame coverage starting at 5 on your home for the Rebels.
Catch Ole Miss Rebels football right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Happy 901 day, everybody. Little 3-6 Mafia on this lovely Wednesday. At least the weather's getting a little bit better.
Tiger Steve on the AutoZone text line. Now, either he's mistaken here or he's making a very bold prediction.
Okay.
He says the Tigers will lose one game and go to the Cotton Bowl. Well, that would mean they're in the playoff if they're in the Cotton Bowl. So either he's just mistaken on they did realize the Cotton Bowl was the playoff game this year.
Yeah, I would
he's
say
making a very bold prediction that the Tigers, even with one loss, are going to get into the college football playoff.
No, he's mistaken as far as what bowl game they would be eligible as the Group of 5 representative?
This year, I believe it would be the Fiesta Bowl would be the likely place that you would end, is where the Group of 5 team is going to end up.
Not a bad little trip for Tigers fans if that happened. All right, so Jimbo Fisher, according to reports, sometime this week they'll iron out all the details, but we'll have a new deal in place at Texas A&M. He's already under contract, I think, for 6 or 7 more seasons. But they've added more years. They've added more money. Boy, Texas A&M has more. They don't know what to do with all their money. 10 years, actually. It'll be a 10-year deal when it's all signed, worth $9 million plus per year on average for Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, it's
mind-boggling.
Coaching college football is a good business. I mean, I just can't imagine.
Well, it's good. It's a good business if you're good, because if you're not, you're bouncing around and looking for jobs and out of jobs quickly. But if you are...
But he signed a 10-year, $75 million contract. And going into the 4th year of that deal, having not gone to a playoff, not won a conference title, not even won a division title,
right?
They felt the need to extend him. He's
one of my pet peeves, Eli. You know that.
7 years left on the contract. He's got 7 years left on the deal. And they're extending it. I don't.
He was going to leave tomorrow.
I think you could wait until he's like maybe halfway done with the contract. Like, he's got 7 years left on the contract, and they're adding. They decide they have to add 3 more back to it to get him back to 10 years. Why do you need a coach signed up for 10 years? There's just no way. It's amazing to me that they felt the need to get it back to 10 years.
First of all, he's not a threat to go to the NFL. He's not going to be an NFL coach. He's not a threat to go anywhere else. Where else are you going? I mean, you're just at Florida State, won a national championship. You're at Texas A&M now. There's not that many programs above you. You're not going to Alabama. You're not going to Ohio State. You're not going to Oklahoma. You're not going to Clemson. There's no rush. It is one of my pet peeves of sports, is giving these coaches extended contracts when they're already under contract for so many years. This is another case in point.
Ross Bjork went from, at Ole Miss, a coach can't have a contract more than 4 years, to now giving a coach an extension who had 7 years left on his deal.
Yeah, let me text Ross. Come on now, Ross. What do you do? Friend of the show, Ross Bjork. What are you doing, Ross? You don't have to give him 10 years. He isn't going anywhere.
But the thing is, it's
what's the buyout,
you
by
said
the way?
originally. A&M just has so much money that they don't care. It just doesn't matter. Like, they just 10 years, whatever. Who cares? 90 million. Whatever. What's 90 million amongst a few oil guys? I mean, it's just they are printing money down there.
You go on campus and you see like the landscapers there working on the beautiful landscapes at Texas A&M, and they're like they're doing a little raking, and there's just money. There's like $20 bills and $100. They're just there. They're just hanging around. It's all around the campus. It's floating around. It's it's a crazy amount of money that school, from not what only they make as part of the SEC, but from the boosters and from the oil people and all who are backers of that program. Just a lot of coin.
It's just
not unlike Texas, not unlike some others, but certainly one of the more lucrative programs, I think, in the entire country.
Their endowment is $12 billion.
Is that it? Just $12 billion?
Now, Harvard's is $40 billion. Yale's is $30 billion.
Okay.
But Texas A&M is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on the list. $12.6 billion.
Wow. All right, so the NFL Players Association is not happy with Jacksonville, and they have an open investigation going on right now regarding Urban Meyer's admission that the Jaguars considered vaccination status when making cuts. Quote, this comes from Jacksonville's social media release today, their little press release that went out on social media. Availability is one of the many factors taken into account when making roster decisions. With no we have vaccinated and unvaccinated players on our roster, and no player was released because of their vaccination status. Ultimately, decisions are based on a player's ability to help the Jaguars win. We educate our players and respect personal decisions as it pertains to the vaccine. We want to keep our players, staff, and families safe as we comply with protocols related to both health and safety and competition on game days. So I said yesterday, I guarantee you don't see anybody on a practice squad that has not been vaccinated. But as far as the regular 53-man roster, there are going to be players that are unvaccinated that are on those rosters. For example, Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. So I don't believe for a second that that's the ultimate reason. They're going to look and see who can help the team. But if you don't think that played into some part of that decision, especially guys towards the end of the roster or guys they were considering for the practice squad, you're crazy. Just like with Bill Belichick and the Patriots and Cam Newton. That had to come into play a little bit. I'm not saying it's the end-all, be-all.
Well, he says it had nothing to do with it.
I know, but do you believe Bill? Come on. Bill's live.
No, I think all of these teams, I think you would be dumb not to when you're getting to the bottom of your roster. If you're considering backup guys that are very close to other guys, the fact that you could lose a backup because of contact tracing or something like that you wouldn't if they were vaccinated, I absolutely think you should have been considering this. No, you're not going to cut your starting quarterback but when you're considering backup guys,
right,
they need to be available. You need to have those guys available because if a guy goes down with an injury and all of a sudden, wow, no, that guy's out because of contract tracing of somebody else, I absolutely 100%. You should be considering it.
Yeah, availability, absolutely right. And what you just alluded to is you don't want these guys at the bottom of your roster taking out your stars because of contact tracing. So I can understand why they would steer away from those players on the roster. But again, your stars, there are a number of them that are unvaccinated out there that are on rosters. They're not being cut because of that reason, not completely being looked at as far as their vaccination status. But other guys deeper on the roster, absolutely. When we come back, hour 2, we'll kick things off with Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing, located at 4265 Hex Cross Road near 385. The menu offers a variety of all-beef hot dogs with over 20 choices. Try some of the best-selling favorites like the Bacon Wrap Memphis Dog and even sausages like Street Polish, Italian, or Jamaican Jerk Chicken. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 till 10, and Sunday, 11 to 8. Catering and event hosting is available. Have your next meeting or family gathering at the Original Hot Dog Factory. Now hiring team members. Apply in person. The Original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you are treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Touchdown! This hour of Sports 56 Middays brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a first-class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis.
Walking, talking, doing something here in the great city of Memphis on 901 Day. We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, hour number 2 of the broadcast. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. This is a really cool thing they do. They customize jewelry and make it to your specifications. So whatever you need, they can create. And if you like, they can provide a free 3D rendering of what it will look like in just 2 days. It's amazing what computers can do. So if that's something you're looking at, then you can head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers. You may be looking for that special engagement ring or wedding rings. Well, they are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters. They've been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same Mid-South location for a quarter century. They know there's a lot of competition out there, so they make sure there's a price point for everybody's budget. They must be doing something right to be there that long. And it's James Gaddis Jewelers that provides all types of different jewelry, whether it be watches or fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces. They'll buy your gold and silver, custom-made jewelry, as I just mentioned, and the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. They have 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing is available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. It is Wednesday. It's time for Jerry Palm.
It's time for Sports 56 Middays Weekly Chat with Jerry Palm, college football and basketball writer for CBSSports.com. Here are Greg, Eli, and Jerry.
Somebody, can anybody find me? Somebody to love.
He is Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. Catch him every Wednesday during both the college football and college basketball seasons right here on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, JP.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty well. Hope you're doing well. We have our 5 favorite things each Wednesday. As you know, it will be coming our listeners' way at 12:05. But let's get a sneak peek with your 5 favorite college football players of all time. And by the way, you can have players from your favorite school or your alma mater. That's not it's a prerequisite. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, as you recall, when I did 5 favorite stadiums, I left out Chicago and Purdue, my home stadiums, but I can't do that for this list. So it's a Purdue-heavy list. Drew Brees, Rod Woodson, Mike Allstott, Rondale Moore, and then one non-Purdue guy, John Elway, who brought his Stanford team to Purdue for my first home game as a student. And we beat them, but man, he was good. He's one of the best players I ever saw in person.
So first college game you saw as a Purdue student was John Elway in Stanford.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
If he had beaten Purdue, would you still have him on your list?
Yeah, because he was that good. I mean, he was, it was his performance was memorable, even though their team around him wasn't very good, and we were able to win that game. But yeah, he was stellar.
What do you expect, by the way, from Rondale Moore? He's with Arizona, correct?
Yes, he is. I expect him to be explosive, and I think he's with a good coach. Because I think that they can use what he does well to their advantage. But he's a little guy, but he's super strong and really fast. So he doesn't go down easy. And if they can get him the ball in some space, I think he can really have a good rookie year.
So we go into this 2021 season, obviously already underway with the Week 0 games, but starting tonight, UAB plays, and there's football all the way through Monday night. So it's a huge first week of the college football season. Obviously, COVID-19 is still a story out there, but Hurricane Ida said, hold my jacket here on the way through Louisiana and other states. And so now we have Ida and the result of Ida affecting a lot of things. Tulane was going to host Oklahoma. How great would that have been for that program? And now they not only have to go to Norman for this game, but they're going to be out of their home stadium for a while. We don't know how many weeks, but they are affected. LSU, obviously getting ready to head out to UCLA, has been practicing in Houston. I just found out moments ago that Nicholls State, who is, of course, an FCS school, is Memphis' first opponent. They will be in Memphis today starting to get ready for the game on Saturday. So, unfortunately, Ida reared its ugly head.
Oh, yeah. It's, unfortunately, I mean, hurricanes are, this time of year, something that we have to deal with in terms of the schedule periodically. Almost every year, a hurricane comes through and affects some game or another. This one was particularly devastating, and to the New Orleans area, which is one of my favorite cities. So I really hope that they're able to recover from this one soon. But for Tulane, how often do you get a team like Oklahoma in your house? Now this is the second game of a 2-for-1. So I don't know if that third game is now going to revert back to Tulane, and it's not next year. I don't know when it is.
I think it's 24, if I remember.
Yeah,
seeing
something
that
like
correctly.
that. Yeah, it's a few years off. So, hopefully Oklahoma will consent to going back to Tulane. But, yeah, this was obviously, who knows when Tulane's going to get back. I know the New Orleans Saints are affected as well.
Sure.
LSU. Baton Rouge got hit pretty good as well. Not as bad as New Orleans. That's and are there any schools in Mississippi affected? Because didn't that hurricane take a sharp right at once it came on and go through Mississippi? Are the Mississippi schools affected?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard
think
anything.
any are affected that I have seen anyway.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. That's something that we're, I guess, in more of a sense, used to dealing with, just in terms of the schedule. But just hopefully everybody down there is okay.
Yeah, that's certainly the case there. So you, what game, I guess, other than, let's take Georgia Clemson now, because that's obvious. What other game are you most excited about here in week 1?
Okay, Purdue and Oregon State. I get to go to a football game. I'm excited.
Any restrictions?
Actually, No.
Good.
Which unfortunately is the same time as Georgia Clemson, so I won't get to watch that one. But Alabama, Miami, Indiana, Iowa this weekend, and Penn State, Wisconsin in the Big Ten are two important games between what are perceived to be evenly matched teams. So there's some pretty good action early in the Big Ten right off the bat. Important conference games because the 9-game schedule, forces conference games to be played pretty much every week. So, I think those two games are LSU, UCLA. I'm looking forward to that. And then one kind of sneaky one, I think, is Texas and Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana, which is in the northwest part of the state, and I don't think was really terribly affected by the hurricane, that school. They're going to Texas for Steve Sarkisian's opener, and they're the number 23 ranked team. I mean, that team is considered a favorite with Coastal Carolina and the Sun Belt. Returned a lot of players from a team that did well last year. I mean, Texas better show up. They're 8-point favorites, and I will not be surprised if Louisiana's in that game all the way.
Outside of Ohio State, who are some teams that may surprise in the Big Ten? I mean, Ohio State wouldn't be a surprise.
The only way Ohio State could surprise is to fall.
I don't know. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, Ohio State is obviously the Kings. Who else? Yeah. Who else in the Big Ten will be up there?
Well, the winner of the Penn State-Wisconsin game has a leg up as a challenger. And really, I suppose, Michigan or Indiana could step up. I actually think Indiana's going to take a slight step back this year, even though talent-wise they may be every bit as good as they were a year ago, but the schedule's harder. And I think the competition will be better. So it's a different kind of year for IU, but they could still mess things up for people. And Iowa is another team that has a chance to step up.
Where do you stand on the Georgia-Clemson game? Who do you like?
I like Clemson. I think it's like a 3-point line sounds about right. I think that's going to be nip and tuck the whole way. It's fun. Somebody complained to me on Twitter that it doesn't understand why everybody seems to be picking Clemson when it seems to be a pretty evenly matched game. And I guess it's just, it's the preseason and we think Clemson's better, and therefore we're picking Clemson. But it's not like nobody thinks Georgia can win. I mean, obviously everybody thinks Georgia can win. And I think one area in particular where they have an advantage is quarterback, because they have the more experienced player, even though DJ Uiagalelei. I've been working
Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei.
No, Uiagalelei.
Oh, there you go. Uiagalelei. Sorry.
Uiagalelei.
There's only one lay. There's only one lay at the end. There's only one lay. It's Uiagalelei.
Okay. I'm still working on it.
Just call him DJ.
I need
call him
2
Trevor
days to work
Lawrence.
on this name.
Don't change it. Just call him Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, DJ. We're going to just call him DJ. So yeah, obviously he's shown his mettle in the action that we've seen. I mean, he had a terrific game at Notre Dame. In a marquee matchup. They didn't win, but it really wasn't much that he did wrong that caused them to lose. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just a great matchup, and I'll be somewhere else not watching it.
Well, he's a big, strong guy. If anybody thinks like you're going to see the demise of Clemson because Lawrence is gone and Etienne is gone, forget about it. There's still a power. By the way, I'm looking at the odds. Everything from 2.5 to 4. Clemson as the favorite.
Yeah.
I think this is going right down to the wire for maybe a 1-point game. So I think Clemson wins 2, but I think I'll take Georgia and the points. I just think it's going to really come down to, I guess, what book you're looking at.
A 3-point game is going down to the wire.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's a 3-point, I mean, that's what the line is. If the game plays to that line, it's all the way to the wire.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. LSU has to go out to UCLA after spending a bunch of time in Houston. They've been displaced because of the hurricane. They're coming off a horrible, horrible year. They got a young quarterback now in Max Johnson. UCLA looked good against an overmatched Hawaii team. What do you see in that matchup?
I like LSU. I think the talent on the field is just too much. UCLA will probably hang around for a while. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk necessarily for LSU. They're favored. I think that's a small line as well.
LSU is favored by, 3 points.
Anywhere
from 3 to 4.5.
Yeah, I think they'll cover that, but I don't think it's going to be 2 touchdowns or anything. I think it'll be less of a game than Georgia-Clemson. But I don't think LSU is going to beat them, 42-7.
I'm not a big fan of the UCLA quarterback.
Well, it's going to be a step up in competition from what they saw last week offensively. But if you're a UCLA fan, you have to feel pretty good about seeing an offense, kind of come together like that, even against an inferior opponent. And it gives you confidence going into this week. But, it really, it's possible that LSU could run away with this if they force some turnovers and, punch these guys in the mouth early.
See, I think LSU's the better team, but it worries me that UCLA's already played a game and LSU's been displaced. Like, there's a lot going against LSU here that scares me.
Yeah, sometimes that brings the team together, though.
They'll probably have more fans, too.
It could go either way.
Oh, yeah.
But they'll probably have more fans than UCLA. It was pathetic last week.
Yeah. Why is UCLA playing in the Rose Bowl anyway? I mean, don't they have neither of those big schools has an on-campus stadium.
No,
I guess.
No. USC plays at the Coliseum. That's 100,000. I mean, these are huge stadiums.
I was looking at your best bets.
Yes.
And it wasn't one of your best bets, but you have Penn State against Wisconsin. Do you think they'll win that game at Wisconsin?
I think they could win that game, but I like them to cover. I think it'll be a close game. I think the line's 5.5. It's like a touchdown line, and I think it's more of a field goal game.
Notre Dame and Florida.
I think it's going to be defensive. Yeah. I think the scores are going to be low.
Do you like Penn State's weird because last year was so weird for them after they got off to the terrible start and then they bounced back. I don't know if I trust Clifford, but do you like Penn State this year?
Yeah, I think they have a chance to. I think they have the best chance in that division to unseat Ohio State, and by best I mean about 10%.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is gone. He was their best defensive player.
Yeah,
they got to replace him, and that's
but
not
they
easy.
They always have great linebackers. This is you don't worry about Penn State replacing linebackers. You worry about replacing quarterbacks and receivers.
Boy, you ain't kidding. When I was young, they were known as linebacker U, and they still produce great linebackers. All right, I wanted to ask you about Notre Dame and Florida State because we may have this amazing story if Norvell gives Mackenzie Milton the start. Has he announced yet, Eli? It's an or. But if Mackenzie Milton, even if Mackenzie Milton walks out there to play and he doesn't start, it's a big story. But if he goes out there and starts the game, there were people within the organization, within the program, that didn't think Mackenzie Milton could turn it around and be able to play. And here he is with the possibility of starting against Notre Dame. What a miraculous story. It's like the Alex Smith story.
It is.
College version.
Very much like that, yeah. It's I hope he's okay and he can get on the field and he can play and have some success because, he's a great kid by all accounts. And he's had to have worked very hard to get to this point. So it's hopefully that work can be rewarded. I don't really think it matters who starts in terms of the game. I think Notre Dame is better and will win and probably cover that line. I'm not convinced that Florida State is ready for this level of competition yet, but yeah, it would be fabulous if Milton could get on the field.
Yeah, that's when that injury happened. I didn't think there was any chance he was ever playing college football again. That looked nasty, absolutely nasty. I would not have believed that he would be back out there, and that's
an amazing story.
And certainly they could use some quarterback play at Florida State because it was not good last year. And that's what Mike Norvell needs in his offense. He has to have a quarterback to be able to run it.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, Notre Dame has the Wisconsin transfer?
Yeah, Jack Cohn. Mm-hmm.
What do you think of him?
I think he'll be better at Notre Dame than he was at Wisconsin because he'll have believe it or not, a better line in front of him, although Wisconsin usually has pretty good lines.
Right.
But he'll also have better skill position players around him. So I think that he'll have a chance to be better. Plus, he's had I believe, a year off, right? He had to sit out a year. So he'll be, I think he'll be better. No, I don't know that he'll be better than Ian Book, but I think he'll be better than he was at Wisconsin.
You mentioned a sneaky good game could be that Texas-Louisiana game.
Louisiana.
What about tomorrow night's game between Boise State and UCF and Gus Malzahn's debut? Of course, new head coach at Boise as well.
Right, yeah. That's an interesting game because those two programs have been, arguably the top two group of five programs over the course of, the existence of that term, really. Almost a decade. And so it's an interesting game in that regard, although I don't know that either is for sure UCF is not the favorite because Cincinnati is. Cincinnati has a legitimate chance to build a case for a shot in the playoff this year. But, Boise State, I think Nevada's the favorite in that league this year, although Boise's right there. So, these are two programs in some kind of transition. And, it's important for those transitions to get off to good starts. And now you've got a game of similar programs that have similar cachet and new coaches. And I think it's pretty interesting. It's hard to pick against UCF at home, especially with Boise traveling as far as they are. But, that should be a fun game.
I like their quarterback, though, Boise. Isn't it Bachmeier? Is he still there?
Yes.
Is it Hank Bachmeier?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a pretty good quarterback. So that'll be a fun game to watch. They're all going to be interesting because it is week 1. We're going to learn a lot about these teams, and then we'll talk about it next Wednesday once again with JP. So enjoy yourself back at your alma mater. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. That's Jerry Palm, CBSSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. How about that? Gets to go and watch John Elway for his first collegiate game.
That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good start to your college career and go to a game. Who's this guy? Who's this? We got Stanford. Who's this quarterback they've got? Wonder if he's any good. Turns out he's all right.
Well, if John Elway was the quarterback, remember, of course, the game, right? Stanford and Cal. It wasn't Elway, right? The game where they ran through the tuba player, the band was on the field. That wasn't Elway, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but could you imagine if the Stanford band was it would be the Purdue band because Jerry was in the band. Yeah, and then Elway and Stanford ran through him.
Hewlett and Dunn out in Collierville. Always a great selection of boots and jeans and clothing, and they've got some new stuff that has come in, new ship that's been arriving from all kinds of different directions with clothing. Great selection of new leather belts as well. The Hewlett Dunn signature leather belts and wallets as well. They've got an entire wall of belts for you to choose from. Of course, they've got the great selection of jeans that they always have that you could use those belts for as well, whether it be Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, Kimes Ranch. They got all of the jeans. For boots, whatever type of boots, whether it's casual or fancy, whether it's work boots, whether it's cowboy boots, whether it's hiking boots, any type of boot you can imagine, they've got it for you. Any color that you were looking for, they've got it. Any skin that you're looking for, they've got it for you at Hewlett and Dunn. And beyond the boots and clothing and belts and everything else, how about Nebo lights and Orco hard coolers? They've got those as well. Go check them out. They are Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. They're located at 111 North Center Street in Collierville. Since 1961, they've been doing it down there, so that's a long, long time. That's 60 years, if my math is correct, that they've been doing it at Hewlett and Dunn.
All right, with the Caesars Superdome out of commission for at least week 1, the Saints announced where they'll play game 1 against the Packers. We'll give you those details when we return. And the story that just won't go away, more from the Bishop Sycamore, when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Sunday! It's the savings event of the season. Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon. Your chance to save big by bundling your home and auto insurance. But only this Sunday! Unless you're busy, in which case you can bundle Tuesday! Or if you already have dinner plans, then try Friday! But if the week gets away from you, you can just wait till next Sunday! Because Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon isn't going anywhere! Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays.
Touchdown!
This hour of Sports 56 Middays brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Tennessee, help me find the party. Tried to get in touch with me. She could not.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy 901 day in this great city of ours, Memphis, Tennessee. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. The NFL officially announces that the Saints' opening game of the 2021 season against the Packers will be played in Jacksonville, Florida at TIAA Bank Field. That'll be Sunday, September 12th at 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central. So obviously the Caesars Superdome out of commission. Nobody knows for how long. There was water damage, but it wasn't devastating damage like it was from Hurricane Katrina, where it was used obviously as a shelter too. So they'll be used in the Superdome. It's just a matter of when they will be using the Superdome.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get power back. I mean, that's why, like, Sigmund is unable to go back right now because they don't have power back at their place. We don't know. I guess they don't know how long it's going to be before they get power restored to everywhere down there in New Orleans and other places as well.
Yeah, again, if you missed it, Sigmund, who will join us every single Wednesday to answer all your fantasy football questions, unfortunately won't be able to be with us today because of what Eli just alluded to as he lives in New Orleans. But hopefully everything will be okay for next week power-wise, and he'll be able to join us again as we get ready for the start of the NFL season.
The Cowboys have picked up Will Grier off of waivers from the Panthers. So adding another quarterback to go along with Cooper Rush. Interesting.
Oh, the Cowboys did. Okay, I thought I saw the Broncos did. The Cowboys. Okay. I don't know how I misread that, but
so that's interesting little.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, he'll have a very good chance to be the backup. I mean, Cooper Rush is certainly doesn't have that thing locked up by any means.
I was surprised Will Grier was let go. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback to have as your backup. So yeah, I think there's a good chance that could happen. Yeah, good on the Cowboys.
And by the way, can I say that the and he got cut, but they get to keep him on the practice squad because of the Pathways program or whatever. But the mother of the Isaac what's that? I can't remember.
The guy from Mexico.
Yeah. His mom is my favorite mom in the NFL.
Oh, she's great. She's great.
I think she is my favorite part of Hard Knocks, is just watching her in the stands yelling in Spanish and everything. She doesn't stop. It is a nonstop yelling.
Did you say he made the practice squad?
Yeah, they're going to put him on the practice squad. That Pathways program, I think, allows them to have an extra spot actually on their practice squad
for foreign players.
Yeah.
So last night on Hard Knocks, that wasn't the season finale, right? There'll be one more next week.
Yeah,
because they didn't do anything with cuts.
Because they haven't been done. I mean, today is when they're being done, or yesterday is when they were being done, and so they couldn't get them in yesterday and for today's last night show.
Yeah, that's too quick to turn it around. But yeah, I always remember the last show though being the kind of the cuts. But it's the schedule's changed with 17 games, and there's only three preseason games, and then you have a whole other week off before you get kick-started in the regular season. So really the calendar's kind of different, and maybe that affected it. So one more Hard Knocks program. I think this year's Hard Knocks has been pretty mediocre. I'll be honest with you. It's still great. I still love it. I watch it religiously, but I don't think there's been much to it. Because Dak's not practicing, Zeke's not out there. You got Zeke either eating candy or just there's not a lot of storylines. There's not a lot of great storylines. They've been following the Kamara guy from the Ivory Coast. They've been following the guy from Mexico. But there's just nothing great. Obviously, a lot of Jerry Jones, which you would expect.
Well, first of all, Mike McCarthy is as boring as it gets. And the head coach makes the show. It's why the best one ever to me was the Jets with Rex Ryan. Like the head coach makes the show because he's always obviously going to be very prominent in the show. But Mike McCarthy
he's Melba Toast.
He's boring as hell. Like there's nothing funny, nothing entertaining about Mike McCarthy.
Well, what did you think of?
I will say this. Jerry, well, obviously, I mean, I have to like Jerry Jones. He did bring 3 Super Bowl titles to the Cowboys. Obviously, there are some issues I have with Jerry Jones. He did endear himself quite a bit last night with the Whataburger.
The Whataburger, right.
I did not realize that Jerry was so on board with Whataburger, talking about ordering it 5 days a week.
It seemed like he was positioning himself to be an owner. Like he wanted to jump in on that. I'm sure he can afford that. But yeah.
If Jerry wants to be a part of Whataburger, Jerry can be a part of Whataburger.
He said 5 times a week he eats Whataburger.
I could just picture Jerry.
Never heats it up.
He was talking about sending somebody, but I'm picturing Jerry in my head in his helicopter just landing in the Whataburger parking lot and then going in and getting his Whataburger and flying back to
I'm sure it's probably happened.
His thing with the helicopter, was it last week was the helicopter? It's so
it was last week.
So over the top.
But here's the thing. Jerry Jones at least makes up for Mike McCarthy's lack of personality. You have that counterbalance of Jones's outgoing personality. But last year it was the combination of the LA teams. Sean McVay, and then the coach that got fired with the Chargers. Name escapes me.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Gabe, who was the Chargers coach that got fired after last season?
Anthony Lynn.
Do you remember those guys having these outstanding personalities? Like McVay was okay. I don't remember Anthony Lynn too much.
No, I mean they were good. I mean last year's wasn't great by any means either.
Who would be great? Obviously Gruden. He's done it already, right? Have they had Hard Knocks since he's been in, or was he back in Tampa? Has he done it with? No, hasn't he done it? Have they done Hard Knocks with the Raiders since Gruden took over? I think Gruden would be great.
I can't remember if his first year there, if they did or not. They may have. I can't remember.
What other head coaches would be good personalities for Hard Knocks? Anybody come to mind?
I think Mike Vrabel could be.
Carroll? Yeah, Mike Vrabel I think would be pretty good. Pete Carroll.
I mean, Rex Ryan was just like Rex Ryan when you would get to see him just he just cussed a lot, but he was funny. Like he was entertaining in it. He was the best coach they've ever had on that show.
The Patriots have done it, right? They've done Hard Knocks, haven't they? Gabe, can you pull up that list?
I don't know if the Patriots have ever done it.
Because you talk about non-personality with Belichick.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't.
So they did do the Raiders, though. They did do the Raiders in 2019.
Yeah, I thought I remember Gruden, and he was good. But have they done the Patriots? They done Hard Knocks?
I'm not seeing it. No.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever doing it.
That seems like something that Bill Belichick would be adamantly against.
Oh, he would hate it, but what is the rule as far as, doesn't the NFL mandate that you are at least able to be picked
there are certain teams now that cannot say no to it, and I can't remember what the list of rules is.
Would the Patriots be one of them?
No, I don't.
The Patriots way, they can avoid it.
Because I think it has something to do with having, if you like it. It might be that if you didn't make the playoffs, or I can't remember,
really?
I can't remember what the rules are, but there are certain things that if you qualify, like that, you do not have the ability to say no if they choose you.
Oh, I didn't know it was incentive.
That's only recent. They just did that a few years ago to put those things into to where certain teams could not say no.
Andy Reid wouldn't be that good. He's pretty close to the best guy. And some of these guys I just don't know. Some of the personalities like a Matt LaFleur or a Zach Taylor. I don't know these guys. And some you just think they're curmudgeons. Zimmer. I mean, he would be terrible.
Let's see here. So it's 2014. So that's when they put 2014. But franchises are not required to be included as potential Hard Knocks participants if they have made if they have a first-year head coach, have made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons, or have appeared on the show in the last 10 years. Teams are, however, allowed to volunteer for inclusion. So the Patriots, since 2014, have never had to worry about it because they've been to the playoffs every year. Now, before that, they could have been chosen. But I think at that point, they always had the ability to say no. I think teams always had the ability to say no before that. Now they've just set up these rules to where there is a list of teams that can't say no.
Okay.
If HBO chooses them to be the team, they have to agree to it.
The new soap opera that has just turned us on. We love it. It's our favorite. It's better than All My Children and Guiding Light. And that's As the Bishop Turns. And Bishop Sycamore can't get out of your timeline now on Twitter because it's every other story. Usually really bad puns about Bishop Sycamore, jokes and things of that nature. But yesterday was an interesting story. Ben Faree, he is a former assistant director of officiating and sport management for the Ohio High School Athletics Association, the equivalent of the TSSAA here in Tennessee. He said he spent the better part of 3 years investigating Bishop Sycamore, and I think it had a different name when he started this investigation. So 3 years he's been looking at that institution. And he says it was scamming from the rooftops. No, sorry. Let me read my writing correctly.
Scamming from the rooftops.
He was screaming from the rooftops.
What was it scamming off the rooftops? Like air conditioning units? What do they get? Copper wires? What are they scamming off those rooftops?
My eyes, even with glasses on right now. He was screaming from the rooftops that it was a scam. So for 3 years, this guy, part of the Ohio High School Athletics Association, nobody was listening to him. It was falling on deaf ears. How this thing was. How the hell has this been able to go on this long? I thought this thing just started, basically. And then we had the story yesterday of the AD who says it's all legit. It doesn't seem like it's that hard to really get to the bottom of this stuff. But now they have had a number of cancellations from teams that were on their schedule, starting, I think, this next weekend.
Well, yeah.
So teams are now bailing out, and understandably so.
I would imagine that teams are bailing out of playing them. Now you find out that it's a scam, and they're terrible, and they're putting their kids in danger by having them play 2 times in 3 days. They were supposed to play one of the, may have been even, was it this week? I think one of the next couple of games was supposed to be against one of the really good teams down in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right.
That would just pummel them. Just absolutely pummel them. Not to mention the fact that they're using kids who aren't even They're like been to junior college.
Yes.
Like they're not. They're supposed
Danny
to be.
Amontes all over the
They
place.
like regained high school eligibility somehow by. Apparently, maybe they were going on the whole COVID years don't count in junior college. You could still be a high school kid if you want to go back to high school. But yeah, I mean, since these schools aren't going to be playing them.
Since COVID's happened, all bets are off. We got a graduate assistant coach for South Carolina who will be quarterbacking the team this weekend. So it's no surprise that junior college players are playing for high schools. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if kids are going to school. I don't know what's happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would understand if you're one of these high schools who had put them on your schedule thinking they were, maybe you thought they were somewhat legit, or at least thought maybe they were decent as a football team, but now having seen them get killed and exposed as being frauds and using kids who aren't even high school kids who are trying to play for them, I was a coach, I would probably say, you know what, I don't know that this is the us paying for them to come in and play us probably is not the greatest move right now.
I mean, this has to be, and I don't know, I said this yesterday, when SNL has their season debut, this has to be an SNL skit. Keenan Thompson as the coach, who's now been fired, by the way, that has to be an SNL skit.
John texted on the AutoZone text line, by the way, talking about Hard Knocks. He says Dick Vermeil would have been good.
Would have cried a lot.
Yeah, if you like watching men cry, you would have got to see that a lot. He certainly is qualified for that. There's another text here. Where did it go? Oh, this was we were talking earlier about the extension of Jimbo Fisher. We got a text on the AutoZone text line that says, do you think A&M is upping the contract because Texas is now back in the conference? Well, they're not even in the conference yet. We don't know for sure exactly when they'll be. But why do they have? What does that matter? Why do they have to give Jimbo Fisher back to 10 years and more money?
What, are they afraid they're going to lose him to Texas, who just hired Steve Sarkisian, when right now he's getting fat and happy at Texas A&M? No, the question is
even if
not
they
giving him a raise.
More money,
right.
I don't think it's necessary. Again, the guy hasn't even won his division yet.
But you've extended for 10 years. He had 7 years left. It's not like it was running out in the next couple of years.
It's not like
see how it plays out.
People could tell recruits, hey, he's only locked up for 7 more years. So I don't know if you want to go play for him because, 3 years after you're gone, his contract will be up.
Yeah,
I just don't.
He's under contract for you, and then when your kids go through school, he's still going to be there. So you're in good shape.
Like if he's recruiting, I guess, high school freshmen or 8th graders, those others could come in and say, do you really want to commit to him? I'm not sure he'll be there when you're finally done with college 8 years from now. But, yeah, and again, I get it, the raises, like even when you could look at it and say, what really has he done?
Well, they were close to the playoffs last year.
But, yeah, I get it. Like, if you want to give more money, it's just weird to me that you're having to try and, like, that you're keeping your guy's contract at 10 years. Because if you want to fire him, I don't know what the buyout is or whatever, but, like, it's just, that's amazing to me that 3 years into a 10-year deal, you felt the need to extend them back those 3 years. Like, I get it in places where you want to keep your coach at, well, especially like in Mississippi where it's the law or whatever, so you could only have it at the 4 years or whatever. Or even if you want to have a guy there and you want to have him locked up for 5 or 6 for recruiting purposes. Like, listen, we're committed to this guy. I don't know that you need to be committed to a guy for 10 years, and once 3 years go by, you put it back to 10 years.
Yeah, normally this stuff happens when they pull a John Calipari, where all of a sudden another school is showing interest, and then the athletic director panics and has to extend. This is not happening. Nobody's out there making overtures or trying to bring Jimbo Fisher in. Not that they wouldn't love to have Jimbo Fisher. I'm not saying that. He's a really good coach. But that's not the case. This is just Ross deciding that for whatever reason, they needed to extend this thing from 7 to 10. But Calipari used to play schools like a fiddle. But there was always that looming school, which ended up being Kentucky in the end, that he went to. I don't know what Jimbo's looking at. Somebody just brought up, as a texter, brought up Texas.
I don't think that's right now while you're in Texas A&M. I don't think you're looking to move over to Texas, especially when A&M's probably in a lot better situation. You have a team that almost went to the playoff last year. And it's not like Ohio State and Clemson and Alabama and Oklahoma are looking at Jimbo and saying, hey, we'd rather have Jimbo. So there's not those schools in front of him where he could say they're making overtures, or his agent could come out and say, you better be careful. You could lose this guy. First of all, you're under a contract for 7 years. Not that you can't get out of it, but you're under a contract currently for 7, and they make it 10. Makes no sense to me.
If my prediction is right for this year, and they do actually win the SEC title and go to the playoff, and
he'll get a 20-year extension.
Who knows what would be on the line then? Like if he wins the SEC, he might
in perpetuity.
It's a lifetime contract for as much money as he asks for every year. Whatever you just tell us what you're going to make this year, Jimbo. If it's $20 million, fine. We're giving you $20 million that year. Whatever.
You say that tongue in cheek.
We'll pay you $2 million per win for the rest of your career, and you've got a lifetime deal here. But again, it doesn't matter to them because they have it. Like
they have the money.
They're
looking for a championship.
Money.
I know you say it tongue in cheek, but man, you never know.
With college football getting here, NFL just around the corner as well, there is no better place to watch the games than East Coast Wings. Love, it's my favorite place in the entire city to go watch sports or just to hang out as well. Great food. The wings are absolutely amazing. They got 60 different flavors of wings for you to choose from, 7 different heat indexes you could choose from as well, 24 draft beers on tap, including many of the local beers. On 901 Day, I mentioned drinking local beer. Hey, that's a great place to do it. They got a lot of the local beers there as well. Beyond the wings, many other great things to choose from their burgers to their flatbreads or sausage and cheese plate. Happy hour every day, Monday through Friday from 3:30 until 6. They've got all kinds of great deals for you, and it's just a great atmosphere. And TVs everywhere for you to watch all of the action. It's East Coast Wings and Grill, located just off Highway 64 between the Lowe's and Walmart there on Highway 64. It's on the road right there in between them. Go check them out for great food, great atmosphere, and a great place to watch all of the action. It is East Coast Wings and Grill.
Golfers are reacting to the statement made yesterday by the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan about fans being ejected for saying Brooksy. Some interesting comments from a lot of different golfers and some that are coming to the defense of Bryson DeChambeau. We will talk about that when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
In here, there are seasonal savings throughout the Home Depot, so you can get back out there for more doing. In here, it's a Weber Spirit Grill. Out there, it's the dinner bell for your next neighborhood cookout. In here, it's a gallon of exclusive Bear Scuff Defense paint and a Lillard White vanity. Out there, it's a rejuvenated guest bath ready for guests. Get back for more doing with store-wide savings for house-wide doing. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Taqueria Express has a new location at 6290 Winchester with family deals every day. Mouth-watering chicken tacos, only 99 cents. 3 tacos with rice, beans, and fresh guacamole, only $6. And incredible signature dishes with chicken or beef chimichangas and homemade tortillas stuffed with fresh beans, rice, and cheese on top. If you're hungry, try Taqueria Express's gigantic Macho Burrito. Homemade with fresh flour tortilla, and you choose beef, chicken, pork, or shrimp. Includes beans, rice, melted cheese, lettuce, tomato, and sour cream. Fajita fans try Taqueria's delicious chicken or steak fajitas. Big enough for 2 people and only $10. If you're thirsty and want something unique, then try Taqueria drinks made from scratch like melon and pineapple. Margaritas are buy one, get one free, and they got a little kick to them. For real Mexican food, Taqueria Express, 6290 Winchester. We'll see you guys there, and don't forget those strong margaritas. Buy one, get one free.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays.
Touchdown!
This hour of Sports 56 Middays brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man? Can you dig it?
Oh, I love that song. The great Isaac Hayes. Shaft on this 901 day. Happy 901 day to everybody. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. Final minutes here in Hour 2. Hour 3, we have our 5 favorite things. Your 5 favorite all-time college football players. And then later in the hour, it's our final 3-man scramble. Jay Hasselman will join us. We'll make our picks for the Tour Championship. Speaking of the Tour Championship and golf moving forward, yesterday the announcement from Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, that the spectators are subject to ejection for unruly behavior, including shouting Brooksy at Bryson DeChambeau, an obvious taunt related to the golfer's ongoing feud with Brooks Koepka. A lot of golfers have come out and they've kind of poked fun at that mandate from the commissioner and made fun of the situation. Rory McIlroy looks at it differently. He's in support of Bryson DeChambeau. He says it's pretty tough to be Bryson DeChambeau right now. I certainly feel some sympathy for him because I don't think that you should be ostracized or criticized for being different. And I think we have all known from the start that Bryson is different, and he is not going to conform to the way people want him to be. He is his own person. He thinks his own thoughts, and everyone has a right to do that. There are certainly things that he has done in the past that have brought some of this stuff on himself. I'm not saying that he's completely blameless in this, but at the same time, I think he has been getting a pretty rough go of it lately, and it's actually pretty sad to see because he, deep down, I think, is a nice person, and all he wants to do is try to be the best golfer he can be, and it just seems like every week something else happens.
Rory is always very good and thoughtful in answers about issues on tour. I appreciate the fact that Rory is not afraid to speak about things and usually does it in a thoughtful way.
Yeah, yesterday you were mentioning, who was it? Was it Kevin Na? Or was it
No, James Hahn.
I'm getting mixed up, right? But
James Hahn was his tweet was awesome.
His tweet was really funny, and then I saw the tweet. I'm trying to find. Here it is. This was from Lee Westwood. He said, "I've been called lumpy, oosty, Clarky, amongst other names that I can't mention, on and off for the last 25 years, and now you bring a rule in. I think there's a difference. Now, I could be wrong. There could be some people making fun of Westwood, but I think they are ill-informed golf fans who don't know the difference.
Yes, he's making a joke like James Hahn is.
Okay, but that's not the case with Bryson DeChambeau. They know what they're saying. They know that they're getting under his skin. This is not accidentally calling the golfer by his wrong
That's why
name.
they're making a joke about it.
Well, it seemed like I thought Lee was not happy with that. He said, now you bring a rule in? You think he's tongue-in-cheek when he says that?
He's the same thing of James Hahn saying we're going to have a problem when you call me those names.
So you think
they're joking?
Well, do you think they're all in support of this from Jay Monahan?
I don't know whether they're in support. These guys are just making jokes about the fact they get mistaken for other golfers. They get called other names.
Yeah, but I took it differently. I took it that Lee Westwood was saying, listen, I get called wrong names all the time. So you know what? Why are you changing the rule now? Why are you changing that to throw out spectators? I've been called Oosty and Clarky and all that. And then I responded to that tweet by saying, yeah, but it's a difference between...
He was joking.
So you know that. You actually talked to Lee Westwood?
I don't know that. I did not talk to him, but I'm going to go on the fact that he was joking. I'm going to assume James Hahn was joking.
Well, James Hahn was no question was joking. I mean, he was making fun of, really, he's making fun of himself being Asian. That's what he was doing. We couldn't say that, but he said it and it was funny. But the thing is, I don't think that's what we're looking at here. I think there are some players that are going to be peeved that they're going to be spectators being thrown out for that type of behavior. They don't look at it as unruly. They don't look at it as, interrupting things. They look at it as fans just being fans. Sometimes they're going to be applauding you. Sometimes they may be booing you. Just look at the Mets situation where now all of a sudden Baez had to apologize. And then he came through yesterday with a game-winning run. Maybe all's right in the world, but probably not with New York fans. But he apologized because Sandy Alderson told him to, and he realized probably that he went over the line. I don't know. Some golfers may think that's not going over the line, and they love the feud, and they want it to continue. So I don't know. I do know this. FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new users up with enhanced 30-1 odds for the first big college football game of the season. Now, there's a few big ones this week. Obviously, Alabama's going to take on Miami, LSU, and UCLA. But it's Georgia and Clemson. That will have some ramifications later on in the year. And you can win with either team. Just pick Georgia or Clemson to win. Turn a $5 bet into a $150 payday. Sign up and make your first deposit to kick off the college football season on America's #1 sportsbook. There's no better place to bet college football than FanDuel Sportsbook. Great promotions, #1 rated sportsbook app, easy to use, and fast payouts. You can get paid in as little as 24 hours. On the money line, I like Clemson. I think Clemson wins a real tight game, but I would take Georgia in the 3.5, 4. I think FanDuel right now has it, though, at 2.5, but I'd still take Georgia and the points. So make the most out of college football this week with enhanced 30-1 odds on Georgia versus Clemson. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code GASMAN so they know we sent you. That's promo code GASMAN. You must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. New users only. Must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit is required. $150 max bonus. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. When we return, 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite college football players of all time. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana. Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef, or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sauces, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado, and more. How about super nachos topped with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos? All great with nice cold beer, domestic and imported. Good prices, generous portions, great service at 2 locations, Summer Avenue and Cordova Road. La Guadalupana.
Action247.com is your Tennessee sportsbook for same-day pay. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. Win a little or win a lot. Action247 has same-day pay. The other guys make you wait for your winnings. No more waiting with Action247 same-day pay. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Hotty toddy Ole Miss.
Boom! That's a way to start it. Right open down the seam, caught, touchdown. Caught at the 20 by Braylon Sanders. He trots into the end zone, touchdown. We run the ship. That Corral is on a roll. He's got it to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Lane Kiffin throws his clipboard.
Monday, Ole Miss battles Louisville and Atlanta. Kickoff at 7 with pregame coverage starting at 5 on your home for the Rebels.
Catch Ole Miss Rebels football right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
On this 901 day, Elvis Presley, little hound dog here to open up hour number 3. We welcome you back. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Gabe's been spinning the tunes all show long, representing Memphis 901 with our great artists and other songs about the city of Memphis. Jay Hasselman will join us at the bottom of the hour for our 3-man scramble. And again, it's our final
three-man scramble of the year. We'll make our picks for the Tour Championship. So your last chance to win a weekly prize, but to be in the grand drawing, which we'll do next week for a great prize package. And coming up in just a moment, we got our 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite all-time college football players. If you have not sent in your list yet, please do so via the AutoZone text line at 360-8255, 360-8255. Or if you're watching us live, you can message us with your lists on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and on the website at sports56whbq.com. I did want to mention this. This is pretty funny. Super 70 Sports, which is my favorite follow on Twitter. I've talked about that a million times. And Ricky Cobb, who runs the site, came up with the idea. He's been on our show a couple of times. So he did this just a moment ago, Eli. I thought this was pretty interesting. He said, here's today's lesson on inflation. In 1976, $6 million gets you the most awesome bionic, I'll clean it up, MFer on earth. So he's talking about, obviously, Lee Majors, the Bionic Man. 2021 gets you 1.8% of the way to signing Francisco Lindor. Advantage 70s. That is crazy.
That is true.
Time now for our 5 favorite things.
This is Gordon speaking. And I just love a number that's the same as my finger. You see, I've got 5 fingers on this hand. That's 5.
5. Now let's stomp 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm in. High five. I got
5 5 favorite things.
5 favorite things brought to you by La Guadalupana, Air Doctors of Memphis, and the original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing, which is located at 4265 Hacks Cross Road. It's just off 385. They're open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 10, Sunday, 11 to 8. And when you talk about a variety of hot dogs, they've got it for you. 20 different choices, over 20 choices to choose from. From the Memphis dog, which is a bacon wrap Memphis dog, the Detroit Coney dog, the taco dog, Carolina slaw dog, Hawaiian dog with pineapple, the ATL extra long foot long dog, and a breakfast dog topped with eggs and bacon. There's so many different things to choose from the hot dogs. And then they've got wings as well. And one thing I really like, they've got curly fries as a selection too. You can choose amongst your fries of what you want. They've got it's all about selection. Great stuff. The hot dogs, absolutely amazing. The wings, really good. I mean, it is good stuff. They are the original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing. Again, 4265 Hacks Cross Road, just off 385. Go check them out.
All right, so again, 5 favorite things. Topic today is your 5 favorite all-time college football players. This was Eli's topic this week. So Eli goes first, Gabe second, then me. Then we will get to our listeners.
All right, we got a lot of lists coming in, so let's get to this. My top 5. I do have an honorable mention. My honorable mention goes to Steve Taneyhill from South Carolina. I've talked about this before, but back in college when I used to play video games and we played the college football video game,
right?
I was always South Carolina because of Steve Taneyhill. I don't know why. I just was always South Carolina because of Steve Taneyhill.
You know who his primary receiver was?
I don't even know who the receiver was.
Sterling Sharp.
He may have been. All I remember from that team is Steve Taneyhill.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
He was my guy. Number 5, Reggie Bush. Number 4, this is, I don't know why I love this guy. He wore the big old shoulder pads and just ran people over. And when I was a kid, I used to like watching him. Number 4 is Keith Byers. Number 3, I think maybe the most exciting player I had seen in my childhood until my number 1 came along. But number 3, Rocket Ismail from Notre Dame. The return that got called back because of Colorado. I was so mad about that call by the officials. Number 2, Biscuit Cornelius Bennett. And number 1, of course, Johnny Heis Manziel.
I knew that would be your number 1, and you love Biscuit.
I do love Biscuit.
Cornelius Bennett.
Biscuit was my guy. He was my favorite college football player until Johnny Manziel came along.
Gabe?
All right, for me, I have some honorable mentions, like 3 of them to be exact. And I'll put myself in there, Gabe Kuhn.
I was going to say, you have to put yourself.
So 4, actually. So 4, I lied. But these guys were very close to being on my list. Vince Young, what he did at Texas, that USC game, that national championship was unbelievable. Cam Newton in his 1 year. And also a guy I played with, Anthony Miller. Fun to watch him work every day from walk-on to what he was, all-conference player, drafted out of the University of Memphis. Just shout out to Ant. Number 5 for me, kind of random, but Pat White from West Virginia. He was very exciting. Him and Noel Devine, who was his running back at that time, very exciting. 4, I got to give love to my O-lineman. I have a guard and a tackle on my list. Surprise, surprise. Quentin Nelson.
Nice.
Obviously got drafted 6th overall by the Colts, but the best offensive guards I've ever seen play at the college level. Number 3, Orlando Pace. As an O-lineman, finishing 4th in Heisman voting, what are we even talking about? That's ridiculous.
He was almost on my list. I almost put him on my list.
It's unbelievable to think that he finished 4th in Heisman voting. Number 2 for me, because of dominance, in a system that didn't really help him shine all that much all the time. I mean, he was their main target, and they were a run-heavy offense. But Calvin Johnson, and he had Reggie Ball throwing him the ball, but Calvin Johnson, as far as the jump balls went, as far as getting open, as far as dominance, that he was so fun to watch. And number 1, you had him way too low, Eli. I'm glad you had him on your list because I think he should be on just about every list. But Reggie Bush, so exciting, so versatile, caught a bunch of balls at USC, and he was so fun to watch, him and Lindell White. But he was the guy that definitely pushed the excitement on that USC team.
So, and obviously the perspective from Gabe is different. When you're watching a football game, Gabe's looking in the trenches and seeing what's going on, how those holes are opening up for the running backs and the quarter. And we're looking at the skill position guys. We're looking at the quarterback drop back and throw the ball, and it's just a different perspective. So I don't have anybody on the offensive line. By the way, I told Gabe, because I'm as honest as I can be. I said, Gabe, you would be one of my top 15 all-time favorite Tigers. And Gabe looked at me like, what, I'm not your favorite? Well, now you're like my favorite guy. You're my producer and all. But, yeah, I would say I always loved Gabe Kuhn.
I couldn't even crack the top 10. This is ridiculous.
I got to be honest with you. I came here in 1995. There are so many players that I loved. I mean, loved them personally and watching them on the field, from D'Angelo to Danny Wimprine to Duke Calhoun, on and on and on. Anthony Miller's another one. But I'm telling you, you're one. Not only were you a great offensive lineman, really cool dude, and I just liked watching you play. So, I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit here and BS.
You'd be number 3 for me.
Oh,
all right, top 5. Thanks, Eli. There we go.
All right.
That's more like it. That's what I expect. That's the treatment I need.
Well, again, my vast age, I guess I go back a lot. But when I was a kid growing up, it wasn't college football. In South Jersey, it was all about professional football. So I wasn't really digging college until probably I was, late, like maybe 10 or something like that. When I was 5 and 6, I was watching NFL. I was watching Major League Baseball, all that stuff. But my number 5 is Eric Dickerson, the part of the Pony Express with Craig James, and then he would go on to play for the Colts, among other teams, played for the Rams as well. But Eric Dickerson, number 5. Number 4, this is when I really exploded into watching college football, was Archie Griffin, Ohio State, the only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. Now, he played with Byers, right? Or did he not? No. He played with
Byers
Tim.
Was in the 80s.
Yeah, he played with, who was the fullback? Because they would run, obviously they have fullbacks. Tim, somebody help me out with the fullback for Archie Griffin. But Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. I never had a favorite team, but I used to watch a lot of Ohio State and a lot of Penn State, which leads me to number 3 on my list, John Cappelletti for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Great running back. Fun to watch him. Number 2, and this is probably the first I really got acclimated into college football, and it was early, O.J. Simpson. The juice is loose. And I could have went with a couple of USC running backs like Ricky Bell, Anthony Davis, a lot of guys I just love to watch, but O.J. was the number 2 on my list. And number 1, how can I not have him on my list at number 1? When I went to the University of Maryland, starting to watch football, starting to get into broadcasting, the left-handed one from New York, Boomer Esiason, number 1 on my list.
We got a lot of lists we got to get to here from folks on Twitter and on the AutoZone text line. Our 5 favorite things, again, brought to you by the original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing, Air Doctors of Memphis, and La Guadalupana, with great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. La Guadalupana has you taken care of. You could choose from the tacos, burritos, enchiladas, their fajitas, even a Cuban sandwich, or their super nachos, topped with all kinds of goodies. You get great breakfast anytime as well. Good prices, generous portions, and great service for La Guadalupana, 4818 Summer Avenue and Cordova Road, with the truck there in front of the Farmers Market at the corner of Germantown Parkway and Cordova Road. Go check them out at La Guadalupana.
Pete Johnson was the fullback. Pete Johnson for Archie Griffin at Ohio State.
Our buddy Steven Johnson from the Daily Memphian checks in on Twitter with his list, and I don't know which order, which one is one. He just lists 5 guys, so I don't know which direction they're going. But he has Mo Avery, DeMarco Murray, Jamar Chase, Honey Badger, and Reggie Bush.
How about Mo Avery when he took over at quarterback for Memphis? The guy played wide receiver. He played anything they would throw. Tommy West would put him in. He'd play any position.
Justin
Honey Badger's a really good one.
Honey Badger.
I thought about Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. Justin on Twitter, Dexter McCluster, Vince Young, Pat White joins you with Pat White, Chad Kelly, and Patrick Willis.
How fun was Dexter McCluster
he
to
was
watch?
awesome. He was fun. Our buddy Austin Eldridge.
Hey, Austin.
Johnny Manziel, Vince Young, Dexter McCluster, Chad Kelly, and says, I hate to say it, but Joe Burrow. Brandon on Twitter, Darren McFadden, Adrian Peterson, Tommy Frazier, Reggie Bush, and Big Ben. Tommy Frazier was very close to my list as well. I love Tommy Frazier.
Big Ben, huh? How many times was Big Ben on TV with Miami of Ohio? Like, I don't even remember Big Ben until he was – did he play all 4 years?
I'm not
like
sure.
That last year when he got all the pub, whether it was his 3rd year or 4th year, I don't know what he did.
Was he Big Ben at that point, or was he more like Svelte Ben?
He was probably Svelte. He was probably Svelte.
He was a little skinnier then.
But I don't remember even seeing him in a game until that last year.
Brooks goes with Dan Marino, Earl Campbell, Tony Dorsett, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry.
Nice.
Daddy Hog on Twitter. I'll let you guess who some of these names might be.
Darren
McFadden. Matt Jones, Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis, Hunter Henry, and Joe Adams. International Memphian on Twitter. Number 5, Randy Moss. Number 4, Vince Young. Number 3, Charles Woodson. Number 2, Steve McNair. And number 1, Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Yeah, I wish I was able to see Steve McNair, but playing at Alcorn, those games weren't on TV. You couldn't see them unless you were like there and watching them in person. But, yeah, what a great college player he was, and a really good NFL player.
Delo.com on Twitter. D'Angelo Williams, Deion Sanders, Marcus Dupree, Peter Warwick, and Deshaun Watson.
Nice.
Brett Stats Norsworthy. Number 5, Billy Ray Smith. Number 4, Dexter McCluster. Number 3, Barrett Jones. Number 2, Eli Manning. And number 1, Archie Manning. Drew on Twitter. Number 5, Mike McKenzie. Number 4, Tim Tebow. Number 3, Brady White. Number 2, Coot Terry. What a name. And number 1, D'Angelo Williams. Maximus. Bo Jackson. Rocket Ismail, Deion Sanders, D'Angelo Williams, and Barry Sanders. 2 Sanders on his list.
Good list.
Jeff, Brian Bosworth, Bo Jackson, Rocket Ismail, Tommy Chang, and Tommy Frazier.
Timmy Chang.
Tommy Frazier. Bradley, Darren McFadden, Quinn Grovey. I'm not familiar with Quinn Grovey.
I'm not familiar with Quinn Grovey.
Charles Woodson, Warwick Dunn, Steve Atwater.
Is Quinn Grovey a relative?
HB on Twitter, Darren McFadden, Joe Adams, Drew Morgan, Hunter Henry, Brandon Allen. Scott on Twitter. Number 5, Peter Warwick. Number 4, Tim Tebow. Number 3, Patrick Willis. Number 2, Deuce McAllister. And number 1, Eli Manning.
Oh, the Deuce was good to watch. I mean, he was fun to watch. By the way, any of the Hogs fans out there, no love for Clint Sterner? You still holding that fumble against him?
Taryn says, check out my coworker list. Art Schleister, O.J. Simpson, Charlie Ward, Lawrence Phillips, Jerry Rice. Some of those guys with some checkered past there. some of those guys had some off the field issues on that list.
Didn't turn out real well later in life.
On the AutoZone text line, Carolyn. Number 5, Joe Namath. Number 4, Walter Payton. Number 3, Peyton Manning. Number 2, D'Angelo Williams. Number 1, Joe Theismann. Honorable mention to the rest of the Manning family who went to college in the Mid-South. Give it some love for the rest of them. Cooper even gets some love. Let's see. No name on this one. Number 5, Rocket Ismail. Number 4, Reggie Bush. Number 3, Doug Flutie. Number 2, Ernie Davis. And number 1, Brian Bosworth.
Ernie Davis, man, what could have been.
I did like Brian Bosworth, too.
Yeah, I like Bosworth.
Bobby and Halls. Honorable mention to Gabe Kuhn.
There you go, Gabe.
There you go, Gabe. Gabe getting
Golf
some love. Number 5, Steven Gostkowski. Number 4, Heath Schuler. Number 3, Desmond Howard. Number 2, Isaac Bruce. And number 1, Bo Jackson. JJ. Number 5, Danton Bartow. Number 4, Ant Miller. Number 3, Brady White. Number 2, Danny Wimprine. Number 1, drumroll please, D'Angelo Williams. Let's see here. Raider Corey. Number 5, Rocket Ismail. I'm glad to see a lot of people like Rocket Ismail.
How about a little love?
Loved him.
How about a little love for the missile, though?
No, not even close. Number 4, Bo Jackson. Number 3, Charles Woodson. Number 2, Tim Brown. And number 1, D'Angelo Williams.
You know what? One prominent name that has been absent has been Charles Woodson. We're in the land of Peyton.
No,
So-
somebody said somebody.
Did
Charles
somebody
Woodson.
have Charles Woodson? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because what a great player he was.
Bobby in Midtown says, honorable mention, I was living in Denver, had season tickets to the University of Colorado while Darian Hagan was playing. Always loved to watch him run the triple option. Number 5, Tommy Frazier, the GOAT of the triple option. Says that offense would be unstoppable even today. Number 4, Bo Jackson. Never forget the run he made at the Liberty Bowl game I attended. Number 3, O.J. Simpson. It's like a man running against boys. And he carried the ball almost every play.
True.
D'Angelo says if he didn't break the run for a long gain, seemed like he almost did every carry.
That's right.
Number 1, Doug Flutie. Says he had so much fun playing football.
Yeah, that's a good list.
Downtown Leo. Number 5, Patrick Willis. Number 4, Tony Dorsett. Number 3, Deuce McAllister. Number 2, Herschel Walker. And number 1, Eli Manning.
Yeah, that's a good name. Patrick Willis. Man, he was good.
Bobby also asked about what day Sigmund Bloom comes on. Normally, Sigmund would be on Wednesdays, but again, he had to evacuate New Orleans, has not been able to get back yet, so he was not able to join us today, but hopefully he'll be back with us next week. Number 5, Tommy Frazier. Number 4, Charlie Ward. Number 3, Barry Sanders. Number 2, Derek Thomas. Number 1, Joe Burrow. Let's see. This is Brad, our buddy Brad from down at FedEx Forum. Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, Doug Flutie, and Billy Ray Smith.
And the three of them, Jones, Hillis, and McFadden, were on the same team. The same teams, right? They played together, those three. That still amazes me.
Number 5, D'Angelo Williams. Number 4, Anthony Miller. Number 3, Paxton Lynch. Number 2, Joey Magnifico. Number 1, Daryl Henderson. And an honorable mention to Gabe Kuhn and JoJo Dorcius.
There you go.
Shout out.
Another honorable mention for Gabe.
Am I going to break a top 5 on any of these lists? It's strictly honorable mention.
I mean, that guy went all Tigers, and still you couldn't even get on the top 5. Tiger Steve, Brady White, number 5. Number 4, Danny Wimprine. Number 3, Isaac Bruce. Number 2, D'Angelo. And number 1, Peyton Manning, when we whooped that butt. He says at 98. Wasn't it 96?
No, I think it was 98. 97, 98. Because I got here in 95.
They won the title in 98, right?
Yeah, 98. It was 97. Yeah. They won the title in 98 with T. Martin.
Yeah.
In 97.
I thought the the win over Peyton was 96.
I'm positive it was the year before.
Let's see here. Number 5, Keith Benton.
Yeah.
Number 4, Deion Sanders. Number 3, Barry Sanders. Number 2, Derwin James. And number 1, Jerry Rice.
I would have loved to have seen Jerry Rice, but
Doug says Quinn Grovey was an Arkansas quarterback.
Okay.
Bobby. Bobby says Marcus Dupree came to Memphis and became a professional wrestler.
He did?
In 93 or 94. Says there are matches on YouTube. I did not know that.
The 30 for 30 on him. The guy was an amazing player, and then I think it was the knee, right, that took him out. In this day and age, I wonder if you can come back from that knee injury. When he was playing, you couldn't, and his career was over, which is an absolute shame. Got a couple here on Facebook. Our friend John, number 5, Calvin Ridley. Number 4, Mark Ingram. Number 3, A.J. McCarron. Number 2, Travis Henry. Number 1, Julio Jones. Honorable mention, Colby Doris, my nephew, played for Middle Tennessee State and became an assistant coach for the River Kings. Sure, you play football, you're always going to coach some hockey. I mean, it's a natural progression. He also said, don't forget about our friend Gabe Kuhn.
And by the way, it was 1996. I knew I was right.
It was 96?
Yes, I knew I was right. I don't know why.
So that was the first year I was covering.
You tried to convince me otherwise.
I got here in Thanksgiving of 95, so I guess the first year I was covering football, 96. Man, that was just a crazy night. Mario Young. Thank you, Mario. All Florida State football players, like we wouldn't have known any different. Deion Sanders, number 5. Dalvin Cook, number 4. Warwick Dunn, number 3. Derek Brooks, number 2. And the great Charlie Ward, number 1. Honorable mention, Chris Ricks and Deion Sanders. Oh, wait, no, that's messed up. Chris Ricks and Peter Warwick. Go Noles.
Josh on Twitter, number 5, Honey Badger. Number 4, Johnny Football. Number 3, Lamar Jackson. Number 2, D'Angelo. And number 1, Reggie Bush. TM has Peyton Manning, Bo Jackson, Chuck Webb, Heath Schuler, and Aaron Hayden.
Shout out to our friend Aaron Hayden.
I believe that is all of the lists I've got here so far.
Terrific job by our listeners with all your lists. 5 favorite things. We do it every single Wednesday. We give you the topic on Tuesday, and one of our great sponsors of 5 favorite things is Air Doctors of Memphis. If you have trouble with your air conditioning, call Air Doctors of Memphis at 901-598-HVAC. That's 4822. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are 100% guaranteed. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. And this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for the St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed in the St. Jude Dream House new trained high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. That's airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call them at 901-598-4822. When we return, it's our 5 favorite things. We need 3 players.
It's not our 5 favorite things. It's our 3-man scramble.
Jesus.
We will take the first 3 callers. It's your last opportunity to get into our grand prize drawing. We'll take the first 3 callers. You take either myself, Greg, or Jay, whichever one of us has the 3 golfers that make the most money. That listener will get a $20 gift card to Edwin Watts and be entered into the drawing that we will do next week. The prize for the drawing will be a $100 gift card to Edwin Watts, 2 foursomes of golf at Miramichi, a foursome of golf at Wedgwood, and a foursome at Cypress View as well. So you got 4 different foursomes. You got a $100 gift card to Edwin Watts going to be on the line for the drawing next week. 901-360-8255. 360-8255, the AutoZone phone line. First 3 callers. If you've already won a week, you cannot participate again. But if you participated and didn't win, you can participate again. All you got to do is call in. Again, 3 callers, the last opportunity to win in the 3-man scramble.
The FedEx Cup on the line at the Tour Championship. We'll make our picks when we return. This is Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy take you home with Sports Time on Sports 56, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
It's hot outside and your air conditioner just quit. Quick, who do you call? Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, of course, with 24-hour emergency service available. Automatic understands your house is unique, so they work fast to find the right solution for your family's comfort and budget needs. And with financing available and payments as low as $75 a month, it's never been easier to make your home comfortable. Call 363-4636 or go online to itsautomatic.com. Turn to the experts at Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
When it comes to tires, auto repair, and car maintenance, Gateway has it all. Gateway Tire and Service Center is here to help you with all your service and tire needs. Choose from Yokohama, Toyo, Firestone, and Michelin. The list goes on and on. We have tires for all your needs and budgets. And when it comes to service, Gateway Tire has the most experienced mechanics and state-of-the-art equipment. Come see us for any repairs, alignment, struts, air conditioner, schedule maintenance, and more, including brakes with a free brake inspection. Then take advantage of the Gateway credit card. Apply today for stress-free financing made easy with no annual fee. Ask about our 6-month deferred interest with any purchase over $149. Go to gatewaytireandservice.com for great deals and coupons. Gateway Tire and Service Center has it all for you and your family.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Hotty Toddy Ole Miss.
Boom! That's a way to start it. Right open down the seam. Caught. Touchdown. Caught at the 20 by Braylon Sanders. He trots into the end zone. Touchdown. We run the ship. Corral is on a roll. He got it to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Lane Kiffin throws his clipboard.
Monday, Ole Miss battles Louisville and Atlanta. Kickoff at 7 with pregame coverage starting at 5 on your home for the Rebels.
Catch Ole Miss Rebels football right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Happy 901 Day, Yo Gotti. Memphian through and through. As we welcome you back to Middays, our final half hour. Jay Hasselman joins us in just a moment for our 3-man scramble. And once again, this is your last chance to win a weekly prize and get in on the grand drawing. And we still have 3 spots available. 360-8255 right now. AutoZone phone lines available. Just call in and Gabe will take down your information. 360-8255. You pick one of us. And again, that grand prize next week is tremendous. So you want to be a part of it. And your last chance is this week as we get ready for the Tour Championship.
Yeah, the drawing will be a $100 gift card to Edwin Watts, 2 foursomes at Miramichi, a foursome at Wedgwood, and a foursome at Cypress View over in Marion. So a lot of free golf and a $100 gift card at Edwin Watts to get you some supplies to go play that free golf. First 3 callers, 360-8255, 360-8255. First 3 callers can get in and be a part of our 3-man scramble.
Let's bring in our buddy Jay Hasselman from Edwin Watts. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well.
I'm doing all right. I know from our group text here that you're coming for me and you're coming for me hard here. I don't know.
I think you're in first place.
Well, no, I think I'm probably still in third. I mean, I had a great chance last week with DeChambeau. He ends up second. So what do we got, Eli? Where are we at?
Greg was the winner last week, making Patty a winner. So congratulations to Patty, winning that $20 gift card to Edwin Watts and getting into the drawing next week for the $100 gift card and the free golf as well. Greg with $1,141,000 last week. Jay had 952,000.
Oh, that's a good week, Jay.
And I had 309,000. For the season now, Greg is at 9.73 million. Jay is at 9.62, and I am at 9.45. So it's less than $300,000.
Yeah,
it's less than $300,000. So separating first from third.
That's incredible. That's
how
as
are we
tight
doing
as
the
ever.
money this thing?
You will get 20% of the money.
Okay.
20%.
So do I get to give you my 5 favorite things for your topic this week?
Yeah, give us your 5 favorite college football players of all time.
Okay. Now, I'm only going to go with, not all time, I'm going to go with players I've seen. Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Johnny Manziel, Brian Bosworth, and my 5th one was a little bit tougher. I think probably maybe Deion Sanders.
Okay.
They're all great.
I'm going to take that back.
Okay.
I'm going to go, what was the guy's name? Played at Oklahoma from Philadelphia, Mississippi. Marcus Dupree.
Wow, yeah, somebody else had Marcus Dupree.
Marcus Dupree for 1.5 years was as good a football player as I've ever seen in the world.
Oh, I was saying how great that guy would have been in the NFL if he didn't get I think it was the knee injury, right? Which ended his career for all intents and purposes. No,
I got to see Marcus Dupree play in high school one time.
Oh,
my dad
gosh.
took me to see him, and he kicked off, he did everything. But if he broke through the line of scrimmage with the football, the defensive backs from the team literally would run to the sideline. I said, "What are they doing, Dad?" They said they do not want any part of that guy. He's a grown man, and he was. I mean, in high school, he was the same size he was like when he played it in the NFL. It was unbelievable.
I wonder in this day and age with that same injury if he wouldn't have been able to come back from it with modern medicine.
Well, he would have never had that injury.
Well, that's true.
I just wonder, like, if he would have, if he was playing those high school games like today in the
it would have been on ESPN
with social media and everything else, like some of those runs, like just what? I can imagine how crazy that was.
Unless he was playing for Bishop Sycamore.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you probably want to stay away from that story. It's been the biggest story, I think, in sports the last few days. It's like a school that played on ESPN the other night, like a high school team, and it's like fake.
Like the kids don't even go to school there?
No, it's an online school, but they don't even take classes anyway, and a lot of the kids are junior college dropouts. Like they started to play in junior college. Yeah, it's a big old scam that's going on.
So, Jay, your thoughts on the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan coming out and saying that that you could be kicked out of a tournament if you are harassing Bryson DeChambeau by calling him Brooksy.
I think that like every third tee there should be a safe space, and if you get your feelings hurt, you can go in there for a little while.
Like timeout?
It's one thing if you. I mean, there's certain. It's like when you're coaching. There's certain things you can't say. There's certain language you don't need to use. But if you're needling the guy, calling him Brooksy, come on, man. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that thinks because you buy the ticket you've got a right to yell whatever you want. But I also think we have to use a little bit of common sense. I mean, some of this stuff is harmless, and I think Bryson brings it on himself because he does react to it. And you and I both know a guy has a few beers, and he realizes he can get under your skin. You know what he's going to do? He's going to get under your skin.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering what the Ryder Cup is going to be like.
Oh, my God. Well, the thing you'll have going for him there is they'll be more apt to be giving it to Ian Poulter or Sergio Garcia than him.
But there's going to be European fans there.
But not in the same. But, yeah, you're right. Look, I hope they blast him. I mean, I just, I don't know. Man.
Yeah, but the problem
he brings
is
so much of it on himself.
Yeah,
though.
but Jay, the problem is that it might not just be the foreigners that give him crap. It might be the United States fans that still get on him because they feel right now that that's the hot thing to do, to say Brooksy. So even those who are pulling for the U.S. Ryder Cup team may try to say that with Bryson DeChambeau. That's how ugly it's gotten.
When is the Ryder Cup in like 3 weeks?
End of pretty much the end of September, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Whistling Straits.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a meme or something the other day talks about how, Bryson and Brooks don't like each other and nobody likes Bryson and then nobody likes Patrick. It's funny. You think about the Ryder Cup team, it's a bunch. There's several
unlikable people.
Yeah. I mean, but they are unlikable too. I read something the other day. I mean, there's guys going on and on about what a nice guy Bryson is, but I don't know that I can believe that because, everybody that plays with him has a problem, whether it be Cantlay that he's yelling at for walking or Harrison English because he's playing too slow.
Right.
It's just, where there's smoke, there's fire, and if it's an isolated incident, I could give him the benefit of a doubt, but it seems to happen a lot.
I've said I don't like him, but I think he's good for golf.
It's great for golf.
Yeah.
Hey, how many normal sports channels in the world right now are talking about Bryson DeChambeau that wouldn't be talking about golf right now, other than maybe giving the scores?
And I do think that the Brooksy stuff is going
it's run its course.
It's just it's too much. When he was here, watching it here, he cannot hit a shot without everybody in there saying it to him.
And he's probably anticipating it too, that he knows it's going to happen.
So in this past week when he's walking off after losing a 6-hole playoff and somebody says something and he turns around and luckily was able to make the smart decision. I think there is going to be an incident when somebody says it's so close to him that he doesn't have a chance to make the wise decision. I get it. The thing is, it's not going to go away unless they actually do something to people.
They're going to have to police, and that's the thing. All you have to do is crack down a few times, and it stops.
Because it's just there's no way these. It's drunken people. It's also this younger group that loves Brooks Koepka because of Barstool Sports. That's what it is. Brooks is always going to be the winning side of the battle.
Yeah, because he's the cool kid. That's right.
Plus,
it's the cool kid versus the nerd. I mean, that's bottom. They're always going to side on the cool kid side.
Plus, with social media, you got your phones. This isn't Augusta where you can't bring them in. You're taking shots of maybe somebody saying Brooksy and with him in the background. There's all kinds of things that kids want to do now. Young people, drunk people, where it is absolutely too much. I think it was fun while it lasted, but this is just I think we're all over it.
When's Brooks going to be the big guy and step forward and say, and maybe just try to, even if he doesn't really make amends, act like you make amends.
Right.
Well, of course, the other thing is, too, Bryson could go to Brooks. There's a lot of ways this could be handled, and the whole thing has honestly been handled pretty poorly to this point, it seems like.
Well, Stricker had to tell the two that, listen, we don't want to have this feud with our team when we go up to Whistling Straits.
Which Koepka has always said. Everybody's giving credit to Steve Stricker. Brooks has said all along, it's not going to have any effect on the Ryder Cup. I can put it aside for a week.
We've all played sports, and when we were kids, we might have a fight with a guy in the hall in third period. And if we were on the same football team, we could play on the same team.
Yeah,
Brooks will put it aside for a week.
Right.
But the thing is, you mentioned
started again after.
See, this would be a perfect time for Brooks to say, "Listen, man, I get it. It's been fun and all that, but let's go
on to something else.
Let's move on. We need to do." But I think. Because he really dislikes him so much, I think he really enjoys watching people annoy Bryson DeChambeau.
I think he likes watching him squirm. I don't think there's any doubt. He needs to just come out and say, "Look, guys, let's just get back to talking about Patrick Reed cheating." And if he was to say that would be epic.
Patrick Reed, which I know Jay couldn't care less, was out of action for a while with his health, but he is going to try. He is going to try to play in the Tour Championship. By the way,
let me ask you this. Let's say he plays really poorly at the Tour Championship. Do you still think Steve Stricker picks him?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Because I honestly think playing could be a two-edged sword for him. If he was to play well, I think it really solidifies him. But if he goes out and lays an egg and finishes 28th, Steve Stricker might say, I don't necessarily need the distraction.
Well, that's a great point. It's a guy who's ill, and if he goes out there and struggles in Atlanta, then you may just, obviously you have a built-in excuse.
He's picking after this weekend, is that not right?
Yes, I think maybe Monday we'll find out. By the way, we still have the 3 spots. This is your last chance. This is our last three-man scramble before we draw for the grand
Hey,
prize.
if they don't
next
pick,
week.
can I get the cards back?
This is a free shot at winning not only this week but the grand prize. So this is your last chance right now. 360-8255. Again, Eli, real quick, the prize package for the grand prize next week.
The grand prize drawing will be for a $100 gift card to Edwin Watts, 2 free foursomes out at Miramichi, a free foursome down at Wedgwood, and 1 at Cypress View as well.
Okay, again, jump on in. If not, don't worry about it. We have a lot of winners from previous weeks that'll be in the grand prize drawing.
So it'll be Jay picking first, then Greg, and then me. For the year, I mentioned how close the total money is. Jay has 7 wins for the year. Me and Greg each have 6 wins for the year.
And Eli, explain for those who don't know how the Tour Championship is done as far as already scores for the players.
Yeah, they're the Patrick Cantlay being first in the FedEx Cup standings coming in. He starts at 10 under par. Tony Finau's at 8. Bryson DeChambeau's at 7. John Rahm's at 6. Cameron Smith's at 5. Then you have Justin Thomas, Harris English, Abraham Answer, Jordan Spieth, Sam Burns, all at 4, and then it works its way down from there. So they're all.
Anybody start over par? I think that would be awesome.
Patrick Reed is actually 16 over par to start. It's really weird.
Yeah, you really got to play good to get it back to level par, son.
They've already given him 2 penalty strokes. No, it's. So, by the way, we were talking about that last week, Jay. So Patrick Reed, without playing in the first 2 events, and I don't know where he was going in, but he still was able to sneak in at number 30.
Yeah, but he didn't have a chance to win it. I think we were more arguing the chance to win it.
Colin Morikawa, if Colin Morikawa had not played in either, he was number 1 going in. If he had not played either one of the tournaments, because he missed the cut in the first one, he barely did anything last week anyway. But if he had not chosen not to play the first 2, he would have come into this week exactly where he is at -3, so 7 shots back.
I was going to say he has barely played he hadn't played well at all the last 2 events. You got to wonder if some of these guys are running on fumes. It's been a long 18 months. They started back last year and really have not had much of a break.
Right, Olympics.
Because the Masters was in the fall, so they all continued to play through the fall. The U.S. Open was in the fall, so that you've heard Rory talk about playing all this golf that he wouldn't normally play. I imagine some of these guys are running on fumes at this point.
You're absolutely right.
So. Right. Morikawa has not played well.
Morikawa was too good to play like he has the last 2 weeks.
Let's get to our picks.
All right, Jay, you're first.
Number 1 player in the world. I'm going to spot you the shots. Whoever's next can have a Cantlay.
Who's next, me or you?
You are next, Greg.
Okay. I will take Tony Finau.
Wowzers.
All right. I'm going to take...
You're going to take Cantlay. You have to.
No, I'm not. He's terrible. He's never been good at this golf course.
Right.
I'm taking Justin Thomas.
I know what you're debating right now. I know exactly what he's doing right now, Eli. What's going through his mind.
I'm going to take. He was bad for me. I'm going to take Cameron Smith.
Ooh, wasn't what I was thinking.
I actually looked at the thing on the internet, and they have him way down the list, which I don't understand because he's not that far back, is he?
He's 5 back. He's at 500.
He's 5 back.
He made it. I don't even know if has he played. He probably hasn't played the Tour Championship. He's probably never played East Lake before.
Well, that doesn't seem to matter.
My pick. I know I looked up the same stuff as Eli did as far as Cantlay. He's not good on this course. He's got a big lead.
Well, he's got 2-shot lead over 4 days. That's not that big.
Well, yeah, but over some of the other guys. I mean, I already have Finau.
Yeah, that's true.
I have Finau. It's like a monopoly. I'm trying to get I'm going to take I'm going to go ahead and take him. I'm going to take DeChambeau.
Somebody is going to hurt his feelings.
I was not considering him.
I thought, I was wrong about that, but why not?
I refuse.
DeChambeau, I mean, he's pretty good as far as letting it roll his back a little bit, at least when it comes to playing. I don't think it's affected his playing that much.
Well, I'm going to take him. He's got the lead. I'll take my chances, and he's playing well, obviously. And I'm going to take Rory. Rory usually plays well.
Rory was up there for me.
I was actually hoping maybe I could sneak Rory out in the way back.
I really wanted somebody else to pick Cantlay because I wanted to pick somebody else, but I wanted to pick DJ.
So I'm going to take DJ is second here, but ahead of DJ is a guy who plays well here, Spieth. Taking Jordan Spieth.
You know, though, Jordan Speed plays well everywhere. He really does. I mean, we give him a lot of grief, and you know, when he's playing well, he plays good everywhere.
Yeah, he just has those up and down rounds.
Well, but it seems like lately, if he doesn't putt good, I mean, he's gotten where he keeps it in play for the most part. Now it's the putter.
All right, Eli.
All right.
Close us out with a good one.
I'm going to take Koepka.
You know, he hadn't been hurt from much.
No, he hasn't.
He did okay this past work week, didn't he?
He's been just average lately. He's been average.
I'm hoping to all this stuff right now. Maybe he's gonna really rub it in by winning.
All right, our teams.
Tell you what, if Koepka doesn't do something soon, though, his title as this big game hunter is going to go away.
Yeah. All right.
I've got Thomas, Smith, and Koepka. Jay with Rahm, Cantlay, and Rory. Greg with Finau, DeChambeau, and Spieth.
All right, Jay, tell us about Edwin Watts.
Well, we're getting ready for another product launch. TaylorMade is launching P790 series of irons, and we're going to have a fitting day next week. I'll give you more details. I'm assuming we're going to talk again next week.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll give you a little more details then. And but if you want to come by, we've got some demo heads. You can come in, hit them, see what you think, take a look at them, and do that and enjoy the golf this weekend, man. It's going to be a fun weekend. And college football.
That's right.
It's fantastic. You enjoyed as well, Jay. Go out and see Jay Hausman and Edwin Watts. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. College football is back, and FanDuel Sportsbook is making Week 1 even more exciting. Right now, all customers get a risk-free bet on any Week 1 game. That's right. Place any Week 1 bet and get a refund and site credit if you don't win. So that goes for all FanDuel customers, whether you're just joining now or you have been a customer. They are rated the #1 sportsbook app in America. Easy to use, safe and secure, fast payouts. Just one of the many reasons why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, just sign up with promo code GASMAN to get in on the action, I should say. Again, it's promo code GASMAN. You must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10 unless otherwise indicated. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. We'll wrap up this Wednesday edition of Middays when we return on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
CenterPoint Energy takes many steps to help ensure the safety of gas lines in your community and shares important tips like the following. A distinct odor similar to rotten eggs is added to natural gas. If you smell it, clear the area and immediately call CenterPoint Energy. Plus, always remember to call 811 before you dig or begin an outdoor project. Natural gas is one of the safest fuels. To find more tips, visit centerpointenergy.com/gas safety.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, So please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy. So please get vaccinated.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Not a bad way to wrap up our midday show on this 901 day with a little Al Green. One of the masters of soul. Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here on Middays before we hand things over to John Harden.
Still waiting for him to come sing the national anthem in the Grizzlies game.
That would be really cool.
He was supposed to do that a long time ago. Still hasn't made it. Still hasn't made it here. Fleet Feet is the place to go for you to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you. Go see them at either one of their two locations. East Memphis and Laurelwood Shopping Center, out in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy next to the Hueys. You could go in there. They take a look at the way you run or walk, and then they will get you fitted in shoes just right for you based on where you put the pressure on the different points of your feet. All the shoes are a little different. Everybody walks and runs a little bit different, and they'll match you up with the shoes that are just right for you, plus any other gear that you need. Or if you've got questions about running, getting started, or training for races, they can help you with that as well. They're all runners. They're all about the runners at Fleet Feet. Again, two locations, Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis and out in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy.
All right, before we go, we're really short on time here. The Grizzlies have announced that they will retire Zach Randolph's number 50 jersey on Saturday, December 11th against the Houston Rockets, and they will retire Tony Allen's number 9 jersey on Friday, January 28th against the Utah Jazz. So fantastic. Zebo and Tony Allen's jerseys to be retired this upcoming season. Right now, 22-game packs, 10-game packs are on sale on the Grizzlies website for the upcoming season. Big thanks to Jerry Palm and Jay Hasselman for joining us on the program today, and our best wishes go out to, again, Sigmund Bloom, who hopefully will be joining us again next week to answer all your fantasy football questions. He'll be with us throughout the season on Wednesdays. Tomorrow on the program, we will be busy. It's the return of the one and only Brandon Lang to handicap some of the big college football games. They'll do NFL games as well during the season. It'll be the season debut of the Tiger Football Report. Ryan Silverfield will join us at 11:45, and then Harold Grader in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour, plus our world-famous Pick 6 each week will go up against one of you. You'll have a chance to win some barbecue against us. That's each and every week right here on Thursdays on Sports 56 Midday. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Gabe Kuhn, I'm Greg Gaston. Happy 901 day, everybody.